in the state of Pennsylvania match up tonight. Combined wins between Jim Roth and also Bob Wolfram?
Nearly 900, Jeff. 506 for Jim Roth, 372 for Bob Wolfram. Jim Roth, 41st season. Bob Wolfram, 39 seasons combined. They have 80 seasons of high school football coaching experience.
Yeah, obviously a ton of state championships, and one goes to the credit of Bob Wolfram and also Wyomissing. Last year, though, this was a Saturday game because the game was played at Wyomissing at Bob Wolfram Field. And for Justice Hardy and for the Spartans, it was a good afternoon.
It was a great afternoon for Wyomissing last year, led by Justice Hardy. They won over Southern Columbia 35-21. Halfback Justice Hardy had 12 carries, 117 yards, and 4 touchdowns. He's a player to watch in tonight's game. He's headed into his junior season with the Spartans. Southern Columbia got behind the 8 ball early last year. They had 4 turnovers in the first half, and they trailed at halftime 28-0, sort of put the damper on what was a game that had quite a bit of billing living up to it. So we'll see how the teams come out tonight. I'd be surprised if Southern Columbia gets off to a start that poor again this year.
If you're just listening to us, remember the free video on our YouTube channel, WEEU Sports. You can go over there and watch that as well. Hey, let's run down a couple games here before we take our second break. Not only are we going to obviously be covering this game tonight, other games that we're going to feature on the Scoreboard Show, which celebrates year number 25 on our third radio station. Wilson and Cheltenham, that's going to take place at Wilson tonight. Cumberland Valley and Manheim Township, they'll meet up at Manheim Township.
And going
Cedar Crest.
Staying in Class 6A, it's Cedar Crest taking on Lower Dolphin tonight. Mid-Penn LL matchup. It's
Dallastown and Hempfield from Hempfield. Last year, Dallastown wins this one 28-19.
Reading is taking the trip down to Phoenixville tonight. The Red Knights looking to get a good start to this season ahead of their matchup next week against Muhlenberg right here on WEEU.
It's McCaskey taking on Bartram from McCaskey tonight. McCaskey ended the season losers of 7 in a row.
Conestoga Valley's taking on Penn Manor in a non-league matchup of 2 Lancaster County teams.
Daniel Boone and Exeter from Exeter. What do they call this game again?
That is the Pig Iron Bowl, Jeff.
Oh, the Pig Iron Bowl. All right. And I know we have some people in studio that are going to be watching that game very intently. And also Redline and Effort tonight, right, Maddie?
Redline and Effort, York against Lancaster County. We'll see if either team can start the season with a win.
Let's take a timeout. When we come back, we will roll some more games here on the preview show, as in the pregame show, as we get you set for the top of the hour. It is Wyomissing and Southern Columbia right here on 830 WEEU.
Noisy, squeaky, or uneven garage doors? Do they snap, crackle, or pop? Having trouble opening or closing? Get a garage door tune-up now from Overhead Door Reading. For just $99, we'll inspect, lubricate, and adjust your garage doors so they run smoothly and quietly. Don't get stuck in the driveway this winter. Call today and ask for our tune-up special. Serving the community since 1965. Overhead Door Reading. We're more than just doors. OverheadDoorReading.com.
UECU is a credit union that understands Pennsylvania, what it means to grow up here, raise a family, start a business. And we're committed to being your financial partner for life. With competitive rates, exclusive member discounts, and modern technology, UECU offers personalized banking that will make you feel right at home. Visit bankingforpa.org and sign up for UECU membership through our partner association, the Pennsylvania Consumer Council. UECU, banking that understands home.
Tripping faucet, AC on the fritz, breakers keep tripping. One call does it all. Keith Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Electrical. For 30 years, we've handled everything from routine maintenance to full system installs. Residential and commercial, we're fast, fair, and always reliable.
Call 877-KEITH for you. That's 877-KEATH for you. Or visit carlkeith.com. Solving problems since before AI was a thing.
Shop, earn, and save with the Redner's Rewards Program. Purchase select items at Redner's Markets and unlock big savings on groceries with fantastic deals like buy 3, get the 4th free. Redeem your points and save on fuel at one of our 7 Redner's Quick Stop locations throughout Berks County, and treat yourself to made-to-order sandwiches, fried chicken, coffee, and more. Discover tons of special offers, digital deals, and surprise savings available to rewards customers. Start saving today. Simply sign up at the store or online at rednersmarkets.com.
Welcome back, everybody. A pregame show being brought to you by Shell's Restaurant, Dairy Swirl, and Miniature Golf. Other games we're going to follow here this evening include Governor Mifflin on the road. They're going to take on Pleasant Valley. Muhlenberg at Schuylkill Valley. We have a live report from that one as well. Also, we've got Berks Conrad Weiser traveling down to Abington. Berks Catholics at Twin Valley. We'll get a report from that one as well. That's all the time that we have. It's time for football from Catawissa as we send it to Bob McCool and Matt Lytle. Matt, welcome back. We'll see you at the half.
It's time for high school football. Presented by Savage Auto Group on 830 WEEU, the voice of Berks and beyond.
High school sports on WEEU is brought to you in part by Chick-fil-A, Celebration Villa of Exeter, Diefenbach Snacks, the Coley Insurance Group, Keith Heating and Air Conditioning, Habitat for Humanity Restore, Overhead Door Company, Renter's Warehouse Markets, Remax Real Estate Agent Phil Macaronis, Lincoln Plumbing and Heating, Pizza Como, Reading Fight and Phil's, Savage Auto Group, Shell's Restaurant, Mini Golf, and Dairy Swirl, UECU, United Way of Berks County, and Victor Emmanuel Beneficial Society.
WEEU is proud to showcase the talent and skill of our local high school athletes. From every tackle to every blitz and every thrilling touchdown, we bring you the best calls and analysis. Now, live from the field, your hosts, Bob McCool and Matt Lytle.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome from Tiger Stadium in Catawissa. Tonight, state powerhouses Wyomissing and Southern Columbia square off against one another. Two of the most successful small school programs Pennsylvania has almost each and every season, and they square off on opening night for the second straight season. Southern Columbia has won 14 2A state championships, the most recent in 2023. It was the end of a run of 7 straight state titles for the Tigers. Wyomissing has won 12 District 3 championships, and they defeated the Tigers last year at Bob Wolfram Field on the first Saturday afternoon of the high school football season, 35-21. A brand new season of high school football and sports coverage begins tonight here on WEEU. For decades, we've brought the biggest games to you, whether it's on the radio or now with our expanded video coverage as well. And as always, it is free, thanks to the great sponsors who make it all come together for us at WEEU. We're there to bring the games home to you. No matter where you are and no matter how you listen to it, the lights are on. Football season is here, and we've got it for you. High school sports presented by Savage Auto Group on WEEU, the voice of Berks and beyond, continues with our pregame show when we come back to Southern Columbia High School after this.
Savage 61 Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is once again the #1 rated auto dealership in Pennsylvania. Thinking it's time to trade up for something newer? We offer the most insane trade-in values you'll find anywhere. Whether you're looking for a new or certified pre-owned vehicle, our dedicated team will make sure you drive away happy. Visit us today at savage61.com and see why we're Pennsylvania's top choice.
This season, stick with everyone's favorite snack, Diefenbach's Kettle Chips. Legend has it Mark Diefenbach loved kettle cooked chips so much he turned his Berks County kitchen into the ultimate snack factory. Now, over 60 years later, we're still making that delicious PA crafted crunch with the same passion and quality right where it all began. So crunch into some flavorful Diefenbach's Kettle Chips today and snack on a delicious tradition.
Tonight's pregame show is brought to you by Shell's Restaurant, Dairy Swirl, and Miniature Golf. Fuel up for game day with their delicious burgers, hot dogs, fried chicken, barbecue sandwiches, French fries, and, of course, ice cream. Plus, have your own gridiron battle on their 27-hole miniature golf course. Visit Shell's on the 5th Street Highway in Temple. Alongside Matt Lytle, my name is Bob McCool, back with you for another high school football season. We rolled out with a couple of state powers going after one another. Matt, great to have you back with us here in the booth, our third season together. But when you start a game like this with Wyomissing playing Southern Columbia, state powers, great coaching matchup, two guys who have been at it for 40 years, I just think it's a zoning in process for young kids that they know that on opening night they got to bring their best game. There's no easing into the season when it's Wyomissing or it's Southern Columbia on opening night.
Oh, I agree, Bob. And I think, more than making big plays tonight, I think they need to minimize mistakes. right? Especially when you have 878 wins combined from Coach Roth and Coach Wolfram. Those two guys, they expect excellence, right? They want to make sure you're executing on the field, executing the plays properly. And hey, let's look. There's going to be mistakes tonight. It's the first game of the season. You know, you've got some new kids starting, some jitters out there, whether they're freshman, sophomore. You know, that's why it's Friday night football under the lights. But two powerhouses going at it should be a lot of fun tonight.
And so when we talk about the coaching matchup, and we'll talk about Jim Roth, the head coach for Southern Columbia in a moment, but Bob Wolfram, of course, in his 39th season as the head coach of Wyomissing, he is at 372 wins in his career, 372, 92, and 1. That is sixth best in the state of Pennsylvania. And by the time we reach October, he will more likely be in the top 5. That is how he continues to climb the charts. And ultimately, the number one guy is the guy who's his opponent tonight in Jim Roth. But if you're looking for motivation for this Wyomissing team, it goes back to their final game of the season last year. We had the game for you against Lampeter-Stroudsburg. It was a district final, and Wyomissing put together a drive that they thought they could put the game away. It was an 80-yard touchdown run for Tyler Nydrowski, but they left time on the clock, and Lampeter-Stroudsburg was able to go down, get a touchdown, send it to overtime, and then win the game in overtime. And I doubt there's a player that's wearing blue and white for Wyomissing that forgets about that. And that's going to be the motivation factor. I think the end of 2024 will be the motivation factor for 2025.
Yeah, I would agree. You've got any returning starter from Wyomissing definitely has that bad taste in their mouth. That was one of the wildest endings to a high school football game in playoffs that I've seen in a long time. There were some big plays. I think their quarterback on one of the last drive, he must have ran around in the backfield for 13 seconds before he finally found his receiver down the field and made that big 3rd and 10 or 4th and 10 conversion.
Correct. Yeah, Caleb Hauser made the play of the night that night, play of the year for Lampeter-Stroudsburg, and the Pioneers ultimately went to the state championship. Yeah, he did his best Michael Vick imitation that night to keep that game alive, that play alive, and an incredible play, and ultimately allowed LS to go on and win the game. And now you turn to 2025, and where do you go if you're Wyomissing? Well, if you want power, you got that in the backfield. If you want breakaway ability, you got that in the backfield, and you also have experience in the backfield. I'm talking about two players in particular. At Wyomissing, it's going to be a lot of players over the course of the season, but with Chase Eisenhower and Justice Hardy, you've got the consummate foundation of where to begin for running Bob Wolfram's wing T offense.
I am excited about tonight from the Wyomissing backfield. You've got, you call it thunder and lightning. You got Chase Eisenhower at fullback. You've got Nydrowski at fullback, also running the ball. But Justice Hardy, he's one of those players that doesn't come along very often. When he touches the ball, he's electric. He can take the ball the distance on any given play, and I think we're going to see that tonight. I would be surprised based off of his big play ability if Wyomissing wins the time of possession game. It'll be interesting because I think you're going to see like one play 80-yard here or maybe 3 plays 60 yards. It'll be interesting to see. They might even have to take Justice Hardy out of the game to slow the pace of the game down.
And the interesting aspect of that you kind of went exactly where I was going to, because the problem hadn't been taking him out of the game. The problem was for Justice Hardy to stay on the field. But he is now, based on what the roster was last year and the roster this year, he's a good 30 pounds bigger than he was last year. And seeing him at the Lancaster Lebanon League Media Day, it's there. I mean, he is a much stronger player than he was a year ago as a 10th grader and now a junior.
My hat goes off to the coaching staff, to his parents, to him as a kid, really developing himself, getting better. He's went to college camps, but it's him working when nobody's watching. When the lights are off, he's working. He's running hills. He's doing all the little things in the off season to make it pay off out here on a Friday night, and you'll see that tonight. And it's not just Justice Hardy. They've got some good leaders. Chase Eisenhower being a senior, he's done the same thing. Now I know he was nursing a broken foot for a while over the summer, but those guys really worked hard in the offseason. I think you'll see it. And the other guy, the guy that really impresses me, that put on a ton of weight, and you're probably going to see some big plays from him, is Fleischhood.
Danny Fleischhood is a senior who's a lot bigger and a lot stronger than he was a year ago.
Yeah, at 6'1", 190 pounds, I think you're going to see him break some tackles and make big plays tonight for Wyomissing. Not to mention he's a basketball player, and he can play around the rim.
That is as well. All right, so that's the side for Wyomissing, and then there's the counterpart. As Matt alluded to, 578 wins combined between the two of them, which will tell you where Jim Roth is. That is 870. I said five. Jim Roth has 500 himself. 502 in 42 seasons here at Southern Columbia. You tell me what's more impressive: 502 wins, or in 42 years he's only lost 73 games. That's a whole nother perspective from Jim Roth when it gets to that. 506. I shortchanged him a couple of wins. He's at 506, 73 and 2. That is number one in the state of Pennsylvania. And then won his 500th game last year here at Southern Columbia. And we talked about the motivation for Wyomissing. Well, the motivation for Southern Columbia is this. The expectation at Southern Columbia is not to win games. It's to win games in the postseason. And they were not able to do that. They recovered from the loss against Wyomissing. They ended up with a record that got them into the postseason. They ran into Troy, who they lost to badly in the district championship game. Troy went on to win the AA state championship. But that's the motivation for Southern Columbia. This is a team that returns a lot of starters for what we saw at Wyomissing last year. So they know, they remember what happened to them, especially in half number one at Bob Wolfram Field.
Yeah, to your point, Bob, I'll tell you what, Coach Roth, with his execution, with his expectations, with 506 wins, he's going to make sure that this team is ready tonight. Now, he doesn't have the rookies that he had last year that he brought to Wyomissing, a lot of young kids. Now he's got kids that have a year under their belt. They shot themselves in the foot last year. They, center, quarterback exchange, fumbles, snapping punts over the punter's head, things like that. That's execution. That's fundamentals. And I think what you're going to see is the work that they put in the offseason. They're going to make sure that that is minimized. And, that's part of my keys to the game. They need to minimize their mistakes and execute at all phases of the game from Southern Columbia. If we see that tonight, I think they're going to give Wyomissing a really tough game.
All right, well, hopefully I didn't tip his hands, because now it's time to give our keys to the game. They're brought to you by RE/MAX Real Estate agent Phil Macaronis. If you're buying or selling a home, Phil Macaronis is a member of the RE/MAX Hall of Fame with over 20 years of experience providing countless buyers and sellers keys to their real estate transactions. Call 610-670-2770 and ask for Phil Macaronis for the keys to buying and selling a home. Wyomissing Southern Columbia, Matt Lytle has his keys to tonight's football game.
So, Bob, Southern Columbia, as I was saying, they need to minimize their mistakes early, right? Come out confident. They need to win the turnover differential and own the time of possession game. Get their younger quarterback, who's now a junior, Aiden Hockenbrock, comfortable early. Running backs, Braden Andrews and Grady Garcia need to pile up the yards out of the backfield. They need to hit the ground running in this first half. On the other side of the ball, Wyomissing, they need to minimize mistakes as well. They need to get their high-powered rushing attack with Hardy, Eisenhower, Nadrowski, and Fleischhood off to a fast start. Also, I think we're going to see Brady Eisenhower, sophomore quarterback, get his first start for Wyomissing. So we're going to need early positive completions to elevate his confidence early as a sophomore in his first high school career game.
Tonight's starting lineups are brought to you by Victor Emmanuel Beneficial Society. They've been serving authentic homemade Italian dishes for over 100 years. New memberships are now being accepted for only $10. The facility at 311 Hazel Street in Reading is also available for rental for private parties, banquets, and celebrations. Victor Emmanuel, a taste of Italy right here in Reading. When the Spartans have the football up front, it's going to be a key. Matt's talked about it already. The center is Robert Martino, 5'8" and 180-pound junior. The guards, tight end last year, and now at guard is Andrew Bresnahan and Jack Benetham. The tackles are Parker LaFerriere and Christian Kaufman. The tight end is a name to think about, and that's Diamante Strong, 6'1", 200-pound junior, and also a basketball player. Bob Wolfram likes what Diamante Strong can afford him at the tight end position. The split end is Andrew D. Fabrizio. The fullback, as we talked about, will be Chase Eisenhower. When he needs a breather, it'll be Tyler Nadrowski. The halfbacks are Daniel Fleischhood and Justice Hardy. The quarterbacks, it will be a combination. We'll see what kind of combination that is between returning starter Teddy White, who's now a junior, and Brady Eisenhower, who is a sophomore at the quarterback spot. We'll get the rest of our starters in a moment as we rise and take a break here in Catawissa. We'll be back after this on WEEU in Reading.
Tripping faucet, AC on the fritz, breakers keep tripping. One call does it all. Keith Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Electrical. For 30 years, we've handled everything from routine maintenance to full system installs. Residential and commercial, we're fast, fair, and always reliable.
call 877-KEITH for you. That's 877-KEATH for you. Or visit carlkeith.com. Solving problems since before AI was a thing.
UECU is a credit union that understands Pennsylvania, what it means to grow up here, raise a family, start a business. And we're committed to being your financial partner for life. With competitive rates, exclusive member discounts, and modern technology, UECU offers personalized banking that will make you feel right at home. Visit bankingforpa.org and sign up for UECU membership through our partner association, the Pennsylvania Consumer Council. UECU, banking that understands home.
Looking for the best pizza in Berks? Come to Nino's Pizza and Italian Restaurant, located along Richmond Street in Reading. Whether grabbing a pie to share before the game, getting delivery for the team, or you're looking for a real Italian dining experience in a grotto-style restaurant, put Nino's on the top of your roster. As the official pizza of WEEU's Slice of Sports, Nino's knows how to feed athletes and the rest of your crew. Nino's Pizza and Italian Restaurant, 515 Richmond Street. Call 610-921-2300 or visit ninosristorante.com.
Updating your furniture and appliances? The Habitat for Humanity Restore of Berks County can help. The Restore offers free pickup of your gently used furniture and appliances from your Berks County home. We offer convenient scheduling for our free pickups through our website, restoreberks.org. Located at 5370 Allentown Pike in Temple, the Restore is open from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Tuesdays through Saturdays. You might just find that special thing to tie the room together at the Restore. Support your community with your donation to the Habitat for Humanity Restore of Berks County.
Welcome back to our Shell's Restaurant, Dairy Swirl, and Miniature Golf pregame show alongside Matt Lytle. My name is Bob McCool. We started into our Victor Manuel starting lineup, and let's finish it. We gave you the starters for offense for the Wyomissing Spartans, and when the Spartans have the football, the defense for Southern Columbia. Ethan Mikowski is at one defensive end, Chase Williams at the other. Jaden Carter and John Quinton are the tackles in a 4-4 defensive alignment for Southern Columbia. Anthony Martino and Brady Arnold are the outside backers. Talon Piet and Noah Whitting are the inside backers. The corners, Blake Kissinger and Nate Gallagher, and the safety is Caden Zachman. For the Tigers offensively, center is Aiden McHale. The guards are Greg Fulmer and Braylon Smith. The tackles, Jaden Carter and John Quinton. The tight end is Jace Malikowski. The split end is Blaze Kissinger. The fullback is Joey Williams. The halfbacks are Grady Garcia and Braden Andrews. And the quarterback is Aiden Hockenbrock. And for the Spartans defensively, it's a 3-4 defensive alignment for Wyomissing with Jack Benetham as the nose, Andrew Bresnahan and Christian Kaufman as the tackles. The outside backers are Tyler Nidrowski and Diamante Strong. The inside backers are Xander Westwood and Chase Eisenhower. The corners, Marcus Armistead and Justice Hardy. And the safeties, Wayne Reason and Teddy White. As Southern Columbia takes the field here on this opening night, Wyomissing trailing them behind them. And it's time for us to take a look at our game time weather outlook, brought to you by the United Way of Berks County. For 100 years, United Way has been a force for help, hope, and opportunity. They lead and invest in programs that strengthen education, literacy, food security, and job opportunities, helping children and families to thrive. Together, they do right here, building a stronger community for generations. Learn more or volunteer at uwberks.org. And our game time temperature is at 81 degrees before the sun sets. It'll get obviously a little bit cooler for the players once the sun sets, but on opening night of the high school football season, heat and humidity is always a factor in terms of how the players have withstood everything. And we always have that issue, Matt, when we get to this spot on this night about cramping. There's a lot of players on both sides. You're going to play both sides of the football on a hot and humid night on opening night. You have to have it done beforehand, because if you haven't had it done beforehand, now's not the time to start guzzling some water or some juice drinks, because you better have done it ahead of time.
Yeah, hopefully they've been drinking water all day now and staying hydrated. Ultimately, in this type of heat at 7:30 at night, we're still going to see some cramping. Mm-hmm. Third and fourth quarter, right. we'll see some cramps, but hopefully there's no injuries.
And so the two teams are coming onto the field. As I said, Southern Columbia already out there, and Wyomissing soon to follow on an opening night of high school football season. I invite you, don't forget to stick around for our post-game show. That is the scoreboard show. Back in the studios, Jeff Nolan, Matt Knob, and company will fill you in on all the scores. We'll have guests as well calling in to the show on what happened all around Berks County on the opening night of high school football. And, of course, our coverage is just getting underway. We'll be back at it next Friday night. We will be in Muhlenberg to see Rob Flowers and his Muhlenberg Mules taking on Troy Godinay and the Reading High Red Knights. That'll be our game next Friday night. And don't forget, Penn State football also rolls into action next weekend as well. The Penn State Nittany Lions opening up against the University of Nevada next Saturday afternoon at Beaver Stadium. And, of course, that is live here on WEEU as well. Captains at midfield looking for the opening
Savage
kickoff.
61 Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
And just take a look at what the Philadelphia Phillies are doing as they are playing host to the Washington Nationals at Citizens Bank Park. And the Nationals jumping out on top with a 3-spot in the top half of the first inning. We'll keep you up to date on that. And again, Matt and Jeff will keep you up to date at halftime of our scores as well as we get things rolling here. And the opening kickoff, it was Southern Columbia won the toss, and they have elected to defer to the second half. So Wyomissing will get the football to start the game. The Wyomissing Spartans, the Southern Columbia Tigers. We'll take a quick timeout. We're back with a kickoff right after this, live on WEEU in Reading.
Redner's Markets is a part of the Berks County community, proudly employee, local, and American-owned since 1970. Your support has made Redner's a staple, and your continued commitment is rewarded with the Redner's Rewards Program. Shopping at the markets earns you big savings with grocery deals, special offers and services, and surprise savings. Rewards members save at the pump, too, with discounts on fuel prices at our 7 Redner's Quick Stops and many more select locations. Shop, earn, and save with the Redner's mobile app. Sign up at the store or online at rednersmarkets.com.
We roll through the finale of our Shell's Restaurant Dairy Swirl Miniature Golf post-game, pregame show, and we get you set for our kickoff of tonight's game presented by the Coley Insurance Group. Discover the power of choice with Goosehead Insurance. The Coley Insurance Group with locations in Muhlenberg and Wyomissing. They are a fully independent insurance agency with access to over 40 top-rated insurance carriers to ensure you get the best coverage at the best price. Whether it's auto, home, or life insurance, they have you covered. At Goosehead Insurance, the Coley Insurance Group, the power of choice is yours. Call their team today at 484-848-6088. Again, the Southern Columbia Tigers will kick it off in their home black and gold, and the Wyomissing Spartans, the visitors, in their white with the blue trim, set to return the kickoff, and it will be Daniel Fleischhood and Justice Hardy back there to return kicks for the Spartans. The kicker for Southern Columbia is a returning starter as well, so not just on the offense and the defense is Southern Columbia returning a ton of kids. The kicker, Preston Shadle, also a returning starter. He will do their kicking and punting. Same for the Spartans in Keegan Mayer, a returning starter who will do their kicking and punting. Kick is in the air, and the high school football season is underway on WEEU. It'll be Daniel Fleischhood from his own 5-yard line. Across the 15-20, kicks it outside to the 30. 35 and 40, breaks loose of the kicker, and Daniel Fleischhood will take the opening kickoff into Southern Columbia territory down at the Tiger 49-yard line.
Again, Danny Fleischhood, really put on the weight. He spent some time in the offseason strengthening himself up. That was a great kick return. Brought it all the way out to Southern Columbia's 49-yard line.
Yeah, the last thing you want on the opening kickoff is that your kicker is the first guy to make contact with the return man. But that's give Preston Shadle credit. He did slow him down and allowed the pursuit to eventually bring him down. But the Spartans started at the Southern Columbia 49-yard line. It is Brady Eisenhower who is the quarterback, and he'll hand it off to big brother Chase. And the fullback will get a little, but not much, as Southern Columbia will push back after a gain of a yard to the 48.
Yeah, really nice tackle there. Stuff and Chase Eisenhower by John Quinton, senior offensive tackle, defensive tackle, 6'2", 245 pounds. Really coming up and making that hit on Chase.
Second down and 9 after Eisenhower gets a yard. Again, Brady Eisenhower, the sophomore, getting the start. The third of the Eisenhower brothers. That's the other thing. There's a ton of brothers who have come through this Wyomissing program. The Nydrowski brothers. Tyler is the fourth of the Nydrowski boys who have played for Bob Wolfram in Wyomissing. He's actually lined up on a wing to the right. He'll go in motion from right side to left. And there's a toss sweep for Hardy, left side, looking for a block. He will not get it. Justice Hardy will lunge forward on a great effort to get to the 46-yard line. Good defense by Southern Columbia. Hardy gets 3. It's second and about 7.
Yeah, Hardy made a really nice play, avoiding the tackle in the backfield and getting up the field, lunging forward for a couple yards.
So give Hardy 2 to the 46. Football lined up somewhere between the 45 and 46. So we'll call it 3rd and 7 for the Spartans opening series of the football game on the opening night of high school football around the state of Pennsylvania. Hardy split out as a receiver on the right side now on 3rd and long. Eisenhower looking his way. He's chasing the backfield. Pump fakes to avoid a rush and will dump it off on the underneath route and looking for Chase Eisenhower, but the pass is incomplete, out of bounds, and Southern Columbia comes up with an early stop.
I'll tell you what, that was a really nice pursuit by Ethan Makowski, senior, 6'1", 235 pounds. He's defensive end. He was breathing down Brady's neck. Brady showing some speed, getting to the sidelines. Saw his brother there along the sidelines, but just couldn't get Chase Eisenhower could not bring in.
So on 4th and 7 from the Southern Columbia 46-yard line, the Spartans unable to move the chains on their first drive, and they will punt it. As I said, Keegan Mayer will do the punting. It's a low snap and a flag on the snap. Let's see what this is all about. This may change the perspective, depending on who it is, but it looks like it's against the Spartans, so it's a 5-yard penalty against Wyomissing. So scratch that about changing the perspective. It's not going to change anything. They would have put Wyomissing in a 4th and 2, and maybe Bob Wolfram decides not to go for it instead, but not now. It's back to 4th and 12, and so the Spartans will re-snap it, and back to return the punt is Grady Garcia and Braden Andrews. Those two halfbacks for the Tigers will do the returning for Southern Columbia. The other 9 up pretty close to the line of scrimmage. Better snap this time for Mayer, and a booming kick for Keegan Mayer. Going to be returned by Andrews from his inside his own 10. Makes the first couple of men miss. Andrews gets free at the 15, across the 20, and out to the 25-yard line. Excellent return by Braden Andrews, turning nothing into something, and out to about the 20 on the punt return.
Yeah, beautiful punt by Mayer, almost out-kicking his coverage. And Andrews, some shifty moves back there, catching that ball, getting outside, cutting back up inside, and getting up the field all the way out to his 25-yard line. So that's just shy of the 25.
That's where Southern Columbia will start its first drive. 10:04 left to go. And the Tigers will start from their own nose of the football, just about at the 25-yard line. Again, junior quarterback Aiden Hockenbrock, who came on as their starter after game 1 last year and played the rest of the season. And they will hand it off to Joey Williams, their fullback. And Williams will push forward for maybe a yard to the 26. That's it.
Andrew Bresnahan, senior, 6'4", 210 pounds, defensive lineman on the tackle for WEEU, unassisted.
Again, it's Williams at fullback. The halfbacks are Grady Garcia and Braden Andrews. Garcia just a sophomore. And there have been a couple of older brothers in this Southern Columbia program, including the Garcia brothers, who put quite a staple for Jim Roth in those 14 state championships. Hockenbrock looks to throw it this time. A little out pattern for his tight end, Malakowski. Malakowski makes the catch, run out of bounds immediately at around the 31-yard line. It'll bring up 3rd down and maybe 3, depending where they spot it for the Tigers.
Great poise there by Hockenbrock, standing tall, throwing the out route to his big tight end, Jace Malakowski. He's junior, 6'3", 210 pounds, tight end. Big target to have. It was a nice throw and catch.
Goes for 6 to the 32-yard line for Southern Columbia. So the Tigers in a 3rd and 3 now. Spartans pack the boxes, a handoff to Andrews. Andrews patiently waits for his blocks to develop, and they'll bring him for a first down out across the 40, all the way out to the 44, as Braden Andrews runs for 12 and the first down of the football game.
Yeah, he is shifty, and he's a little small. He's a little hard to see coming through the line of scrimmage, and he got back into the secondary, and Chase Eisenhower ran him down along the sidelines from behind and brought him down for after a big gain.
So after a 20-yard punt return to get things started for Southern Columbia, Andrews on his first touch from the line of scrimmage goes for 12 and a Southern Columbia first down at the 44. Here's a little trap. Here's a little inside reverse handoff to Garcia. He stood up by the Spartans. They string him out. They'll drop him for a loss. Justice Hardy was the first one to make contact, pushed him back to the pursuit. Strong and Nidrowski there to wrap him up. Back at about the 42-yard line. That's a loss of 2 for Southern Columbia.
Yeah, nice job there by Justice Hardy, containing him on that run, that glorified jet sweep. Justice is going to be a little bit upset with himself. He should have made that tackle in the backfield.
Yeah, they lost, we'll call it 2. Could have been maybe 4 or 5 if Hardy was able to wrap him up, but still a good play to string him back towards the pursuit. So we'll call it 2nd and about 12 for Southern Columbia, back at their 42-yard line. Play action fake and hit as he throws it up in the air looking for Kissinger. It's incomplete as Hockenbrock was hit just as he threw the football, and it was up in the air for a long time. Southern Columbia fortunate that found the dirt and incomplete.
I'll tell you what, really nice job by Hockenbrock getting the ball off. And Kissinger laid out, almost brought that ball in along the sideline. So it was great effort by the receiver on that. And that was a great effort. And nice poise by Hockenbrock, hanging in there, taking a big hit as he let the ball go.
So it's 3rd and 12 now coming up for Southern Columbia. Nate Gallagher will split out as the split end on the right side with backs on either side and Williams at the fullback. Hockenbrock looking left all the way. Now he wants to look back the other way for Andrews. Flags go down as Andrews spins out of a couple of tackles and still on his feet out across the 50, taking a couple of tacklers with him. Great effort by Braden Andrews. Let's see what the flag is going to be. Couple flags actually on the play. One in the Southern Columbia backfield, the other one around the original line of scrimmage.
Andrew's shorter and stout, little strong kid. He's carrying Spartans with him as he's going down the field on that play.
Illegal use of hands, the call against Southern Columbia. Fritz Snyder is our referee. Umpire is Chip Rurick. Line judge is Brian Albertson. Linesman is Brian Albertson. Line judge is Tristan Hauk. Side judge, Brian Hampton. And the field judge is Yogi French. And they will walk this off on the penalty against Southern Columbia. So the line of scrimmage would have been, if they declined a penalty, it's going to be 4th and 12, and that's what Wyomissing is going to do. It was actually 2 penalties on the play. They were both against Southern Columbia. Wyomissing will decline it and put Southern. I don't know they'll decline the first penalty. They'll take the second. So it backs them up 10 to the 32-yard line. So we'll call it now 3rd down and 22 for Southern Columbia after the first penalty against the Tigers cost them 10. 7:52 left to go. Quarter number 1. You're scoreless on opening night of the high school football season. Live on 8:30 WEEU in Reading. Southern Columbia Tigers, Wyomissing Spartans. Southern Columbia 3rd and 22 from their 32. Hockenbrock looking left all the way. Just a heave on a go route for Gallagher. It's up in the air. It's picked off by Justice Hardy. Spartans are all over that. Justice Hardy will pick it off at the Wyomissing 44-yard line. A little extra pushing and shoving after the play's over with. The officials will let them go. Justice Hardy with the INT.
Seemed like Hockenbrock just dropped back and threw a jump ball out to his receiver, Nathan Gallagher, who's a senior. He's 6'3", 185 pounds, but that ball was in the direction of Justice Hardy, and Justice was high pointing that ball, and it looked like it was thrown directly to him.
So Wyomissing gets the football back after Southern Columbia picked up the game's first down. The drive comes to a stop, and the interception, the game's first turnover, gives it back to Wyomissing at their own 43-yard line with 7.5 left to go in quarter number 1. Fleischhood, the man in motion. He's going to get his first carry on a sweep to the left side. He's got an opening. Daniel Fleischhood to the 35, 30. Foot race at the 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Spartans. Daniel Fleischhood on a sweep left side takes it to the house, 57 yards.
Nice misdirection play there by Wyomissing. Brady Eisenhower handing off to Fleischhood off left tackle, and Fleischhood went untouched.
So we talked about it in the pregame show about the big play ability of this Wyomissing Spartan team, and you think about Hardy, don't forget about the other guy on the other side, the other halfback, and that's Daniel Fleischhood. His first touch, he takes it the distance, 57 yards for the score, and Wyomissing after the turnover with Hardy on the interception. And then the run by Fleischhood for the score. On comes Keegan Mayer for the extra point. Austin Lecter is the holder, and the extra point is up, and it is good. With 7:20 left to go in quarter number 1. Wyomissing on the board first. It's 7-0 Spartans. We're back to the home of the Southern Columbia Tigers right after this on WEEU in Reading.
If you are buying or selling a home, contact RE/MAX real estate agent Phil Macaronis. With over 20 years of experience and a member of the RE/MAX Hall of Fame, Phil does it all, from residential to commercial real estate sales. And with his large catalog of repeat and referral customers, you know you can depend on Phil Macaronis, no matter where you're looking for your next home. Call 610-670-2770 or call Phil directly anytime at 610-858-4555.
Noisy, squeaky, or uneven garage doors? Do they snap, crackle, or pop? Having trouble opening or closing? Get a garage door Tune-up now from Overhead Door Reading. For just $99, we'll inspect, lubricate, and adjust your garage doors so they run smoothly and quietly. Don't get stuck in the driveway this winter. Call today and ask for our tune-up special. Serving the community since 1965. Overhead Door Reading. We're more than just doors. OverheadDoorReading.com.
7-0 Spartans on the scoreboard. Again, Justice Hardy with the interception. And one play later, it's Daniel Fleischhood into the end zone, and the Spartans are on the scoreboard first. And Matt alluded to that today and our pregame show about the fact that, well, look, Wyomissing, more often than not, Wyomissing Spartans are going to win the time of possession battle. They may not win that as much this year as they have in the past because of plays like Daniel Fleischhood just made.
Yeah, I don't think that'll be the only play and short drive we see tonight from the Spartans.
As here's Andrews on the kickoff return, this time from his own 5. And Andrews again showing the tough running across the 20 and out to about the 23 or 24-yard line. So Southern now down by 7. And Jim Roth will send his offense back out there for their second series. And that's the beauty of these two guys. We're talking about the 878 wins between the two coaches, but they do it their way, and that's the wing T. Both coaches have always run the wing T offense. 1st and 10 from the 23-yard line for Southern Columbia. Andrews wing to the left with Williams beside him, and it's Andrews on a power sweep to the right side, trying to turn the corner and get some blocking. Gets him across the 25 and out close to the 30. We'll see where they spot Braden Andrews out of bounds.
Great, tough running by Andrews. You know, he's, like I said, I keep coming back to his size. He's not real tall, not a real big kid, but he is well put together. And he is a tough wrestler for Southern Columbia as well. So not only is he a tough football player, but he earns that respect on the wrestling mat as well.
5'7", 165-pound senior runs for 6. It's 2nd and 4 for Southern Columbia at the Tigers' 29-yard line. 6:35 left to go in the quarter. Here's Williams, bounces off a tackle. A fullback still rumbling across the 35. That's going to be good for a Southern Columbia first down. Eisenhower and Hardy on the tackle. Tough running by the fullback, Joey Williams, for Southern Columbia's first down.
Yeah, I thought Williams was going to get the corner on that, and then I saw both 21 and 5 coming like a freight train out of the secondary coming up and making the tackle on the play.
So Williams gets 7 more for Southern Columbia on his second carry, and the Tigers' second first down. And here's the handoff to Andrews, again trying to wait for his blockers to get out in front of him. Good job by Marcus Armistead to break all of that up as Andrews tried to cut it upfield. He'll get a yard or maybe 2. We'll see where they spot it.
Garcia on that play. Garcia got outside real quick. That was number 23.
So it's just a gain of a yard that time for Andrews. Make it 2nd and 9 from the 37-yard line for Southern Columbia. Grady Garcia, the other back on the play. Garcia, just a 10th grader. He's lined up on a wing to the left. Andrews goes in motion, but it's the fullback, Williams, who gets the call. Breaking his way through a couple of Spartans to get across the 40 to about the 41. That's a pickup of 4. Southern Columbia is in a 3rd and 5 at their own 41-yard line.
Great physical running there by Joey Williams right up the gut, and he was met with some more physicality from number 21, the other fullback, Chase Eisenhower. So that was a battle up the middle.
3rd down and 5 for Southern Columbia. They're going to split 2 receivers. Kissinger on one side, Gallagher on the other. Kissinger left, Gallagher right. On 3rd and 5. Hockenbrock looking left. Now he's going to go back to the right. Is he going to tuck and run? He is. And Hockenbrock's going to take it for a first down out close to the 50-yard line.
Nice fake there and way to use his feet. Hockenbrock did a nice job. He showed some wheels getting out of bounds and actually tackled out of bounds by number 20, Xander Westwood, making that play, keeping him from getting extra yards. But in any event, it was a nice run for first down by Hockenbrock.
They're going to spot him actually at the 49-yard line of Southern Columbia. So an 8-yard pickup for Hockenbrock on his first carry. Again, he did not start the season last year in Game 1 against Southern Columbia, but he quickly came in and finished the game and then started pretty much the rest of the season. Hockenbrock is just a sophomore then, threw for almost 1,400 yards. Here's a handoff for Garcia. Slips through one tackle, straight arms his way out of another, and eventually the pursuit of Armistead will bring him down in Wyomissing territory at the Spartan 47-yard line, a gain of 4.
That was your misdirection play right there. That was your double reverse out of the wing T. The ball was exchanged 3 times in the backfield there, with Garcia getting the ball coming to the short side of the field, and Wyomissing stayed home and were able to keep Garcia from getting big yards down the sideline.
So he gets into Wyomissing territory on the gain of 4. It's 2nd and 6. 4:10 left to go in the first quarter. Wyomissing on top 7-0. Back to the power game of Williams. Bounces off a tackle. Spins for a first down inside the 35 and down to the Spartan 34-yard line. 13 more for Southern Columbia fullback Joey Williams.
Yeah, Joey Williams, physical running there. He got through the line of scrimmage, the front 4 pretty quick, and he was bouncing off of linebackers middle of the way, and secondary had to bring him down. On the play, I think it was Hardy and Marcus Armistead on the tackle.
So a Wyomissing-esque drive putting together right now for Southern Columbia. They started at their own 23. They're right now at the Spartan 34, picking up 3 first downs in the process. Now they have it 1st and 10 at Wyomissing's 34-yard line. And this time they give up the middle to Caden Hopper in there for the first time. He'll pick it up for a couple to the 4. He gets 4 yards on his first carry. 2nd down and 6 for the Southern Columbia Tigers.
Yeah, nice job with on a little change-up runner there. Caden Hopper, a senior, 6 foot, 185 pounds here for the Tigers.
At the Spartan 30-yard line. Kissinger split out as the left on the end on the left. And the give this time is to Edwards. Braden Andrews, bouncing off a couple of tackles. Original contact at the line of scrimmage, but he fights it inside the 25 and down to about the 24-yard line. That's 6 more for Southern Columbia, and that's just what they needed to get a first down. The 4th in this drive puts the Tigers 1st and 10 at the Spartan 24-yard line.
Braden Andrews is a physical type runner. That was Xander Westwood, who's also a fullback linebacker on the tackle, and Xander was getting up a little slow after making that tackle on Andrews. So Andrews, a punishing runner, just lowering his pads and his low-level running. His physicality is something to reckon.
1st and 10 for the Tigers at the Wyomissing 24. It's a toss sweep for Andrews. This time it's a different story. He is wrapped up and he's going nowhere. Tyler Nydrowski had him in the backfield, and this will be a loss for Southern Columbia. Nowhere for Braden Andrews to run that time.
Yeah, I just talked about physicality there and with Braden Andrews, and he ran right up against Nydrowski and Chase Eisenhower. I would not want to go 2-on-1 with that weight differential.
Yeah,
strength.
I wouldn't run into a back alley either.
No.
That's exactly what Braden Andrews just did. He loses 5. It's 2nd and 15. Inside of 2 minutes left to go in the first quarter. We're missing up 7-0. Andrews goes in motion. Hockenbrock wants to throw for it. Looking across the middle. Can't find anybody open. He's going to tuck and run. Chased and eventually run down by Chase Eisenhower as he gets back what they lost on the first down play inside the 25 and back to around the original line of scrimmage. Call it 3rd down and about 10 for Southern Columbia.
Great job by Aiden Hockenbrock. Was looking deep for the post with Blaze Kissinger, pulled it down and made a positive gain out of it, got upfield, and Chase Eisenhower bringing him down deep into Spartan territory.
4-down territory for Southern Columbia. At 3rd and 10 from the Wyomissing 24. They trail by a score. Hockenbrock looking for it all here. Looking for the out pattern, and it's picked off again. This time it's Armistead battling with Gallagher for the football, and Marcus Armistead will win that battle, and the Spartans have another interception.
Again, that was a kind of like jump ball-esque, and Marcus Armistead came down with it. They wrestled for the ball. Marcus Armistead high-pointed it. Really nice athletic play by him. A lot of like basketball-esque, It was a jump ball, and he wanted it more.
Well, Frank Ferrandino would object to you because the wrestling coach, he would tell you that Armistead is a wrestler, and therefore he would take your first indication that he wrestled him and out-wrestled him for the football.
Wrestled him. Yeah, I agree. Well, I was just talking about Braden Andrews, who's a wrestler. They're physical, right? But this was athletic ability, jumping, showing his vertical.
1st and 10 for the Spartans at the 18-yard line after forcing their second turnover with 1:02 left to go in the first quarter. And Wyomissing came to the huddle. They didn't have enough players in the huddle. Somebody was on the sidelines. And so Wyomissing will burn a quick timeout. We'll keep it here with 1:02 left to go in the first quarter. Good start for Wyomissing. They lead at 7-0. But the defense for the Spartans is what you talk about now. They had the big stop early, but the 2 interceptions, Southern Columbia bending a little bit, but Wyomissing with the 2 picks early on, a big difference so far.
Yeah, minimizing mistakes. One of the keys to the game was Southern Columbia minimizing mistakes and turnover differential. Right now, Wyomissing's definitely winning turnover differential, and we'll see how that continues throughout the rest of the game. But you got to protect the football to win games, right? I think that's with any football game. Whoever wins the turnover differential usually wins the game.
Yeah, we can talk kiddingly about the time of possession battle, but if you give it up, it's a different story. And again, about the development of Hockenbach as a quarterback. You talked about his poise in a couple plays, but that one, it looked like he telegraphed a little bit, and Armistead was able to jump the route.
I think he forced that one in, and it looked like a one-man route, so that was his only option, and it seemed like he came in, and he knew he was throwing
Mind
there.
made up.
Yeah, mind made up. He was putting it out there.
So the Spartans, after burning the first time out of the football game, have it with 1:02 left to go in the first quarter, and a 7-0 lead. Wyomissing starts from deep in their own territory, this time at their own 18-yard line. Brady Eisenhower, the sophomore quarterback. Tyler Nydrowski in there as the fullback behind him. Actually, it's Chase Eisenhower. Here's a counter handoff for Hardy, and Hardy lowers his shoulder and drives the pile forward to about the 25. That's a gain of 7 for Justice Hardy.
That's a little unlike Justice Hardy.
I was thinking the same thing.
He lowered his shoulder at the end of that run, and Talon Piot, senior defensive back, took the brunt of that one.
So, as we talked about, Hardy about 30 pounds heavier than he was a year ago, and it's noticeable. You see Justice Hardy without the pads on, he looks a lot stronger than he was a year ago. Wyomissing in no hurry here. The final 30 seconds of the first quarter. They'll get one more snap-off likely, and that'll be it for the end of quarter number 1. As DiFabrizio, the split end, is out on the left side on 2nd and 3. Counter handoff to Fleischer. This is the play they scored on. Different story this time as Southern Columbia will bottle him up right around the line of scrimmage. It'll bring up 3rd down and 3. Well, put him at the 26 and a gain of 1. So it's 3rd down and 2 on what will be the final play of quarter number 1. 1 quarter in the books, the high school football season, and Wyomissing on top of Southern Columbia 7-0. Back to Tiger Stadium in Catawissa live on 8:30 a.m. WEEU. High school sports presented by Savage Auto Group continues after this.
Looking for a game-winning play for your next tailgate or get-together? Score big this season with trays from Chick-fil-A. Delicious chicken nuggets and chicken strips, fruits and garden salads, chocolate chunk cookies, and their delicious mac and cheese. Make a play with Chick-fil-A and you'll be a winner every time. Visit Chick-fil-A at Broadcasting Square, 5th Street Highway, and Exeter Commons. Chick-fil-A voted America's favorite fast food restaurant.
Looking for the best pizza in Berks? Come to Nino's Pizza and Italian Restaurant, located along Richmond Street in Reading. Whether grabbing a pie to share before the game, getting delivery for the team, or you're looking for a real Italian dining experience in a grotto-style restaurant, put Nino's on the top of your roster. As the official pizza of WEEU's Slice of Sports, Nino's knows how to feed athletes and the rest of your crew. Nino's Pizza and Italian Restaurant, 515 Richmond Street. Call 610-921-2300 or visit ninosristorante.com.
We're about to start quarter number 2 alongside Matt Lytle. My name is Bob McCool. High school football getting off and rolling on August the 22nd.
School back.
When you were playing back in the dark ages, do you remember how early was it? Did you start before Labor Day?
I don't think we ever played a game August 22nd.
I
don't think we ever went
sure
to school August 21st either.
That also being the case. A lot of schools back in this week. Most of the rest of them will be starting back up on Monday or into next week. 3rd down and 2 for Wyomissing, back at their own 26-yard line. They lead at 7-0. And the first handoff of the quarter number 2 is Eisenhower. Eisenhower slips through. Eisenhower in the back, in the open. 40, 35, 30. Here comes Hardy to try to throw a block. And Eisenhower will slip around and ultimately get brought down at the 15-yard line. Chase Eisenhower in the open field.
What an awesome run by Chase Eisenhower. But even better, Justice Hardy getting downfield, getting in between Chase as the running back and the defender and trying to stalemate that there and keep Chase away from the defender. And the pursuit ended up getting Chase in the end. But what a run downfield by Eisenhower and the assist by Hardy there.
59 yards on the run for Chase Eisenhower, and Chase down by Chase Williams. Give him some credit for sticking with the play and ultimately keeping Eisenhower from going into the end zone. First and 10 now at the 15-yard line of Southern Columbia for Wyomissing. Hardy in motion. They're going to give it right back to the fullback, but this time it's Nydrowski at the fullback, and he is met immediately at about the 14-yard line, a gain of just 1.
Yeah, I'm looking at the number now. I think that was number 60. Yeah, number 67. Right? That's John Quinton, senior, 6'2", 245-pound defensive tackle. Or was that 57? That's their nose tackle. That was Jaden Carter, who's even bigger. He's a junior. He's 6'4", 320 pounds. So Nadrowski, going one-on-one with 320 pounds, he's a little light in the britches for that one.
Those are a couple of the big boys back for Southern Columbia. Again, 8 starters back on defense for the Tigers. Second down and 9, and now a delay of game. Nope, a whistle beforehand. Movement by the Spartans, So Wyomissing will get called for the procedure penalty. Second penalty against Wyomissing in this first half. That backs them up to the 14-yard line. To the 19-yard line, puts them in a 2nd and 14.
This season, stick with everyone's favorite snake.
10:53 to go in the first half.
Sophomore quarterback Brady Eisenhower needs to get that huddle going, and he needs to get everybody in check. It's his huddle. Let's go.
DiFabrizio will split out as they split end on the right side. Diamante Strong, the tight end, on the left. Nydrowski at halfback on left side shifts to the right side, and Eisenhower will roll that way. Quarterback looking for somebody in the end zone, looking for DiFabrizio. It can't run it down. Good coverage downfield by Kissinger.
Eisenhower looking for the home run. Andrew DiFabrizio was on a corner route in the back of the end zone, and Brady Eisenhower just overthrew him.
And a penalty flag in the backfield of Wyomissing, in and around the area where Eisenhower threw the football. So let's see what this is all about. Wyomissing would be in a 3rd and 14 if the play stands. Officials talking this one over. We are District 4 officials. It's where we are right now with Southern Columbia in District 4. And this is going to be a roughing the quarterback penalty against Southern Columbia. So this won't show in the turnover column, but this is a huge difference maker for Wyomissing. It's going to give them a 1st and goal inside the 10 at about the 8-yard line. So instead of being 3rd and 14 at the 19, it's 1st down and goal to go for Wyomissing.
Bob, is this the 2nd or 3rd penalty? Because it's been pretty disciplined football on both sides of the ball.
The penalties right now are 2-2.
2-2, okay.
But that one a little bit more costly for Southern Columbia because it gives Wyomissing a 1st and goal now at the 8-yard line. Give is to Hardy on the misdirection. Hardy leaps the tackle. Does he get in the end zone? Touchdown. Justice Hardy from 8 yards out.
That was athletic ability the whole way there. That was a counter play to Hardy back to the short side of the field, and he hurdled a defender for Southern Columbia and scampered into the end zone. Really, really nice run by Justice getting that play in the end zone.
Justice Hardy, who scored 11 touchdowns last year for Wyomissing, gets his first of 2025, and the Spartans double up now on Southern Columbia as Egan Mayer will come on now for the extra point attempt. Again, Austin Lecker is the holder, and the kick is good with 10:40 now left to go in period number 2. Spartans add on. It's now 14-0 Wyomissing on top. Back to Southern Columbia after this.
UECU is a credit union that understands Pennsylvania, what it means to grow up here, raise a family, start a business. And we're committed to being your financial partner for life. With competitive rates, exclusive member discounts, and modern technology, UECU offers personalized banking that will make you feel right at home. Visit bankingforpa.org and sign up for UECU membership through our partner association, the Pennsylvania Consumer Council. UECU, banking that understands home.
So the roughing the quarterback penalty hurts Southern Columbia. Again, Wyomissing would have been in a 3rd and 14 at the 19-yard line, but instead Eisenhower gets hit late by Southern Columbia. It gives Wyomissing a 1st and goal at the 8-yard line. One play later, Justice Hardy puts it in the end zone, and Wyomissing now leads it 14-0. So gets right back to, as I said, Matt, those are something that it doesn't show. I mean, the interceptions, the fumbles show up in turnover column. That doesn't show up in the turnover column, that penalty. But in reality, it's keeping the drive alive, and you bailed by missing out with that roughing the quarterback.
That was costly in the red zone. They had Wyomissing backed up, third down, gave them opportunity for that conversion and put them inside their 15-yard line, and Justice Hardy did the rest.
From 8 yards out, Hardy scores. And again, it's 14-0 now. Wyomissing on top. And this kickoff return is going to hit and then bounce out of bounds. And so Southern Columbia will likely take it at the 35-yard line. We say that, likely take it, because they do have the option of making them kick again, although most teams will take the kickoff at the 35, and it appears that's what Southern Columbia will do. So Wyomissing able to score both of its touchdowns following interceptions from Southern Columbia. The first one, the next play, Daniel Fleischer goes 57 yards for a score. This one, the Spartans do put together a bit of a drive and take it down. And the big play in that was the 59-yard rumble from Chase Eisenhower to flip the field. Here is Andrews on the handoff. Andrews turns upfield to about the 40, and then a host of Spartans are there to wrap him up and try to bring him down, but it's not so easy to bring down Braden Andrews, who he fights his way to about the 41, 42-yard line for Southern Columbia. 42 is where they'll spot it. It's a gain of 7.
Andrews has some big boys to hide behind and run behind. Their offensive line is pretty big up front, and they've got 4 returning starters. Well, 3 returning offensive linemen, and then you got Jace Malakowski, who's their tight end, who's 6'3", 210 pounds.
Here's the fullback dive and a big hole for Williams to run through. Justice Hardy will knock him off his feet, but not before the Tigers move the chains. That's the 5th first down for Southern Columbia. All on the ground for the Tigers, but they now have it at the 49-yard line. So Southern Columbia has moved the chains.
Yeah, Joey Williams there with a head of steam, and Justice Hardy came up and got low on that and just totally depleted him.
This is Williams this time trying to go around the end, bounces off a one tackler, and then eventually gets wrapped up and brought down by Wayne Reason. The first initial contact made by Andrew Bresnahan as they flip it from their 49 to the Wyomissing 49, and a gain of 2 more for Williams.
Yeah, Wayne Reason, 5'8", 135 pounds. He was a little mismatched there. He made a nice tackle on Joey Williams.
So it's 2nd and 8 for the Tigers at the Wyomissing 49-yard line. 9:15 to go in half number 1. Garcia wing right, Andrews wing left. He goes in motion. Misdirection. Hockenbrock, the quarterback, wants to run it himself and runs it off left tackle. Chase Eisenhower will bring him down from behind, but Hockenbrock almost took that one for the first down. It'll be 2-yard shot.
Yeah, really nice call there by offense coordinator for Southern Columbia. That was a called quarterback keep. Nice fake. As soon as he got done faking it to the running back, he tucked it away and took off. So nice run there by Hockenbrock for a gain of 8 yards.
And puts it at 3rd and 2 for Southern Columbia. Chase Williams is now going to check in, looks like as a second tight end for Southern Columbia. That's exactly where he'll be. He will be on one side with Jace Malakowski on the right side. And the give is to Williams. The fullback lowers his shoulder. He runs into the other fullback, and Chase Eisenhower spins out of that tackle by missing, stripped the ball loose. And let's see what it is. It's Armistead who ripped it loose. Is the play going to stand? Wyomissing says they have the football. Let's wait and see what the guys in the striped jerseys do. Looks like it is Spartan football. Yep. Marcus Armistead came in and ripped the football right out of the hands of Joey Williams after Eisenhower stood him up.
Really nice job by Armistead. Stripping that ball. Another turnover. We talk about turnover differential. The interception is now a fumble. Southern Columbia, they need to protect the ball.
3 possessions, 3 turnovers for the Tigers. Wyomissing has it back. 8:17 to go in the first half. Wyomissing from its own 42-yard line back on offense. Eisenhower under center. He's got 2 on his right. And his brother in the backfield is Hardy on the sweep to the right side. Kissinger had it for a moment, couldn't wrap him up, and Hardy takes it for a few more out near midfield. See where they spot Justice Hardy out of bounds. Looks like it's going to be on the Wyomissing side of the 50 at the 49.
It looked like Justice Hardy was going to get wrapped up there after a gain of 2. Did a little shake and bake and got up the sidelines for a good, solid 7-yard gain.
To the 49-yard line, 4th carry of the game for Hardy. Again, this is what this wing tee will do. Everybody's going to get their touches, whether it's Fleischhood, whether it's Hardy, or that combination at fullback. And looks like for the first time we'll see the third one. I believe that Westwood is now in as the fullback. And he is going to be a factor for Wyomissing on the offensive side in addition to his linebacker play. And it is Westwood who gets the call, and Southern Columbia will stack him up right at midfield. A gain of just a yard on the fullback dive. It's 3rd and 2.
Yeah, nice tackle there by number 43. Chase Williams, junior, 6'4", 200-pound defensive end coming up, making that stop on Westwood.
Right at midfield. 3rd down and 2 for Wyomissing. Westwood will now come out. Nidrowski in as well as Eisenhower. So both the fullbacks will be in, but Nidrowski will no doubt line up as a halfback on the left wing with Hardy on the right wing and Hardy on the left. Nidrowski goes in motion, and it is Eisenhower breaks outside, gets just enough on the straight arm to get himself the first down in Southern Columbia territory. The knee hit down at the 48-yard line. They needed 2, they got 3.
Yeah, nice extra effort there by Chase Eisenhower. Just leaning forward, lowering his shoulders, getting across that 48-yard line. Just enough with the nose of the ball for the first down.
3 first downs now for Wyomissing on the ground, 1 by way of penalty. As we hit the 7-minute mark of period number 2. Don't forget, stick around. Coming up during our Lincoln Plumbing Heating halftime show, Jeff Nolan and Matt Knob back in the WEEU studios will fill you in on scores going on around on opening night. Play action fake. Eisenhower rolls out underneath route for Hardy. First man to make the tackle, it's Andrews, and a great open field tackle by Braden Andrews on Hardy at about the 46-yard line, a gain of just 2.
That's the scrappy wrestler coming out in him. That was, as soon as that ball was on Hardy in the flat, nice throw by Eisenhower, getting it to Hardy where it's catchable and he can run with it. He did that, but Andrews was all over it. Really nice play by Andrews in the open field.
So that will go as the first completion for the sophomore quarterback, Brady Eisenhower, and it ends up being just a 2-yard gain to Hardy. And so it's 2nd down and 8 for the Spartans at the Southern Columbia 46-yard line. D. Fabrizio will shift from right side to left, the split end. And it's a reverse for Nidrowski. Right side now, Nidrowski lowers his shoulder at the 40, and he'll rumble his way forward for the first down close to the Southern Columbia 35-yard line.
Yeah, Nidrowski, nice strong run, carrying defenders with him. He ended up getting brought down by Jaden Carter, junior, 6'4", 320-pound nose guard, getting down the field in pursuit, bringing Nidrowski down after a big gain.
So as a second fullback, I'm not going to say backup fullback for Tyler Nidrowski because he'd start on most teams, but they use him now as a halfback as well, athletic enough to play at that position, and that's exactly what they lined him up for. He runs for 11 and a Wyomissing first down.
I would keep him on the field, both sides of the ball, just like Chase Eisenhower. They're both too valuable to keep on the sidelines. Now, granted, they got to give him breathers, so that's probably why you see Chase at fullback, Nidrowski on the sidelines, and then Nidrowski comes in at fullback, Chase on the sideline. So it's a two-headed monster at fullback, but you'll see, I think we're going to see Nidrowski getting some halfback time too, to your point.
Eisenhower got nothing on that one. The fullback up the middle on the dive stood up by Southern Columbia. Matt talked about those 2 big tackles for the Tigers. Carter at 320, Quinton at 245, just stacked up Eisenhower. No gain on the play. It's 2nd and 10. 5 minutes now left to go in half number 1. Wyomissing on top 14-0. Spartans have it in Southern Columbia territory at the Tiger 35. Nidrowski, wing on the right, goes in motion. Play action fake by Brady Eisenhower. Man behind him, chasing him down, and will run him down and sack back at the 40-yard line. It's Chase Williams chasing down the quarterback.
Yeah, really nice job by Chase Williams, junior, 6'4", 200-pound defensive end. Put the pursuit on Eisenhower, and Brady, being a sophomore, needs to feel that pressure, either throw the ball away or tuck it and run, because Brady's got some pretty quick feet, but Williams was all over him on that play.
It's that learning lesson for a quarterback. When you're rolling to your left and the guy's coming from the blind side, to know when to put on the brakes, when to get rid of that football, when you know you've got to have that clock inside your head.
Absolutely. That clock did not go off on that play.
Now, Chase Williams hit the snooze button, and he knocks Chase Eisenhower down. Back at the 41, it's 3rd and 16. Toss sweep for Hardy, short side of the field. Hardy finds a way through, gets himself some daylight, and then drives himself forward close to the 30. Tough run by Justice Hardy gets 10 back. It'll put Wyomissing in a 4th and 6.
Ethan Mikowski, senior, 6'1", tight end on the tackle. Great tackle, wrapping him up. But that was some great running by Hardy there. He looked like he had nowhere to go here on the short side of the field and made some nice cutbacks for a nice 5-6 yard gain.
31-yard line is the line of scrimmage. You're looking at about a 48-yard field goal. So the Spartans are going to leave the offense out there with 3 minutes and 25 seconds and counting left to go in the first half. Wymissing's going to go for it here on 4th and 6 at the 31. Staple of the wing tee. Will we see the waggle?
Play clock down to 5 here.
So the Spartans got to come to the line of scrimmage and hurry up, or will they call a timeout?
Yeah, Coach Wolfram on the sidelines already called the timeout.
He got the timeout called. So Wyomissing will burn its second timeout here with 3:07 left to play in the game. We'll take a 30-second timeout with the Spartans back. The Southern Columbia High School football presented by Savage Auto Group continues after this.
My AC gave out on the hottest day of the year. Keith had it running again fast and for a fair price. That was years ago, and I've trusted them ever since. Plumbing, electrical, heating, cooling, Keith handles it all. They've been around for 30 years for a reason. Honest, fast, professional, solid work every time. Call Keith. You'll be glad you did.
Keith, quality you trust, comfort you deserve. Call 877-KEITH for you. That's 877-KEATH for you. Or visit carlkeith.com.
Probably a lot of wild.
3:07 left to play first half. After the Spartan timeout, their second. They have the football 4th and 6 at the 31-yard line. So big play for Wyomissing, but a far bigger play right now for Southern Columbia. They need to get Wymissing's offense off the field, give their offense a chance to try to chip away at this. They have all 3 of their timeouts left to Southern Columbia if they can stop Wyomissing here on 4th and 6.
Yeah, big play right here, because I think it would be a momentum change for sure. Or Wyomissing needs another touchdown to go in 21-0, and Southern Columbia needs to have the momentum and get some points on the board.
Fabrizio split out on the right side. Strong tight end right side as well. It's Hardy on a sweep right side. Looking for some blocks. They string him out. Hardy strings it out further and will take it up the field for what appears to be a Wyomissing first down. Very patient run for Justice Hardy.
Flag on the play.
There is a flag right around the point where Hardy kicked it outside. Let's see what the flag's all about. It's going to be a hold against the Spartans. So that negates the Justice Hardy first down, as pretty as it was to watch him run. But unfortunately for the Spartans, the flag, the third against Wyomissing, will keep Southern Columbia in a much better position here to try to shut down this drive.
Nice electric run, though. Sweep to the field. Hardy put on the jets. Really got around the corner when the contained player was there, and he still got around him with a stiff arm. I did not see the hold, but I wasn't looking for it either.
4th and 16 at the 41-yard line now for Wyomissing after the penalty, and now Bob Wolfram will send his punting unit on. So Southern Columbia got what they needed, which is to stop this drive for Wyomissing. And they're going to get the ball back now as Braden Andrews will drop back deep into his own territory to punt it. Keegan Mayer will punt it. It's a very high, short kick that will go out of bounds, hit off the side of Mayer's foot and out of bounds. So Southern Columbia gets a little bit better field position. 2:53 left to go in the first half. Tigers down 14-0. All 3 timeouts left. And we'll see where they mark it out of bounds. It's around the 29-yard line of Southern Columbia.
Very un-Maher-esque. That was about a 22-yard punt.
Trying to kick it to the corner, no doubt, but unfortunately for him, it hit off the side of his foot. And so Southern Columbia will try and take advantage of that. Again, starting from their own 29, 2:53 left to go in the half. Hockenbrock under center. Garcia goes in motion, a play action fake to him. Hockenbrock looking for somebody open, can't find it, he'll run it himself. Slips out of 1 tackle and fights his way close to a first down. Chase Eisenhower will wrap him up about 2 yards short.
I like the decision-making there by Hockenbrock. You know, he doesn't have his reads down the field. He's making quick decisions, gaining yards with his feet. First down and gain of 8-9 yards. Now he's 2nd and short.
He'll hand it off this time. This is Garcia. No, it's Andrews. Andrews spun around as Nydrowski had him by the shoulder pads, spun him around. Andrews kept his feet moving forward and ends up taking it for a gain of about 5, and it is enough for a first down.
Nydrowski was trying to strip Andrews there instead of wrapping him up and taking him back into the backfield. nice job by Andrews tucking that ball and keeping that ball protected.
6th first down for Southern Columbia in the football game. All of them on the ground as Andrews goes in motion. Toss sweep this time for the fullback Williams, and nothing but Spartans. The Nadrowski-Eisenhower combination wrapping up their counterpart on the fullback toss for a gain of maybe a yard, and now Southern Columbia will call its first timeout.
Really nice inside-out pursuit there by Chase Eisenhower from middle linebacker, getting all the way outside and just containing Joey Williams on that play.
That gets back to your point where you're talking about the fullbacks and Nadrowski and Eisenhower and the fact that they can give each other a rest. But because of their importance on defense, too, it's another reason why you have to give them rest. And as I mentioned in that last drive when we saw briefly Xander Westwood at the fullback, he's going to factor into that, too, because he's a linebacker as well and a fullback. So it's really going to be, I'm not going to say a three-headed monster, because I don't think Westwood will get nearly the carries as the other two, but he can be a factor for sure.
Absolutely. You got the three-headed fullback monster, but then you got Fleischhood and Hardy at the halfback position.
Right.
And if Nadrowski goes to halfback, I mean, you got a lot of backs to hand the ball off to. A lot of good backs.
So right now, Southern Columbia Tigers burning their first timeout with 1:57 remaining in half number one. And again, it's the Spartans on top by a score of 14-0. Just an update from Citizens Bank Park. The Washington Nationals, Philadelphia Phillies. Nats up 3-1, batting in the top of the 4th inning after scoring 3 in the first. 2nd and 9 from the 44-yard line. Quick handoff. It's Williams, the fullback, quickly through the hole and quickly into Wyomissing territory for Southern Columbia. First down run.
Joey Williams went untouched for the first 5 yards. He shot through the A-gap, and who touched him on that? That was Diamante Strong. And here we go. Second down. We're stand up. Quick throw out to
Kissinger. And Kissinger gets tripped up by Armistead. Teddy White comes in to finish him off after a gain inside the 40, down to the 38. A little hurry-up offense right now for Southern Columbia after a gain of 5. Hockenbrock will hand it off again to Williams. Bounces off a 1 tackle, but Nadrowski will wrap him up along with Westwood for a gain of maybe a yard or 2. Put it at the 35-yard line. Actually got 3. It's 3rd down and 2. And now Southern Columbia will take another timeout, their second. That comes with 1:18 left to go. So Jim Roth, who's been there and done that time and time again, 506 wins in his legendary career. The all-time winningest coach in Pennsylvania high school football history, and has won more state titles than anybody in Pennsylvania high school football history with 14. They won 7 straight. That string broken last year. It's 3rd down and 2 for Southern Columbia following their timeout at the Wyomissing 35-yard line.
This is an important play here, too. 3rd down and 2. They need to get first down here to, at minimum, run the clock out to keep the Wyomissing offense off the field. Keep it a 14-point gain. But more importantly, they need to get points on the board. And
at least try to get something out of this, but make sure Wyomissing doesn't get anything out of it as well. And make sure they don't end this drive with a turnover. Their first 3 drives so far for Southern Columbia have all ended in turnovers. This, their 4th, has it 3rd down and 2. Here's a handoff to Edwards, patiently waiting for a hole, finds that hole, gets wrapped up and tossed down after picking up the first down. Teddy White makes the tackle at about the Spartan 27-yard line. Gain of 8 more for Andrews.
Nice job there by Teddy White coming up and wrapping up Andrews after a big gain up the middle.
Right back to Joey Williams. Williams gets tripped up before he can move the sticks. He's tripped up at about the 23-yard line. A gain of 4. It's 2nd and 6. Again, hurry-up offense with inside of a minute to go. Hockenbrock looking for the throw. A little out pattern. The pass is caught by Malakowski. The tight end will get tripped up by Armistead. And now Southern Columbia will call a timeout, I believe. Or did they get it? Nope, they called a timeout. Wasn't sure if they had enough for the first down, and they were going to wait for the clock to stop to move the chains, but they're a little bit short, so Jim Roth will call his 3rd and final timeout with 45 seconds to go. What looks to be 3rd and officially a yard to pick up the first.
Malakowski is a big target out there. They flanked out their tight end all the way out to the left, and Hockenbrock, it was a really nice quick throw. It was a bullet right out to him and hit him on the run, and it was a really nice open field tackle there by Marcus Armistead to keep that tight end from taking it into the end zone.
Yeah, I remember in our conversation last year with Jim Roth before the game at Bob Wolfram Field talking about Jace Malakowski, and he thought he's going to be a real player. He's only a junior. He's 6'3". He's 210. The issue is whether or not they had a quarterback that could get at the football. Well, they found that quarterback now in Hockenbrock, who's also only a junior, but he had to ultimately win the job as the season progressed in 2024. So Malakowski with his first grab goes for a 3rd and 1 now for Southern Columbia at the 18-yard line. So again, the clock will stop to move the chains when Southern Columbia picks up the first down. Should they pick up the first down, they'll give it to Williams. He'll pick it up and he'll fight inside the 10 down to about the 6. First down, goal to go for Southern Columbia.
Nadrowski in pursuit, tackling him from behind after he got down all the way to the 6-yard line.
11 more for Joey Williams, who's doing the job. Here's Hockenbrock throwing for the end zone pass. Did they hold on? There's a flag down in the corner of the end zone. No signal for a touchdown, but a flag thrown.
Pass interference.
They're looking for Kissinger. Yep, and I think you are correct. This is going to be pass interference against Wyomissing in the end zone, it would appear.
Wayne Reason totally stopped Kissinger in his route running and had no chance at that ball. I think that's the call here, pass interference.
So the line of scrimmage was the 7. So it'll be half the distance to the goal line. So it'll be first down and first and goal to go for the Tigers. We'll call it the 3-yard line. $33.9 left to go. So time enough, even with no timeouts left for Southern Columbia to get a couple plays off here. They're not thinking field goal right now. They want to score. They're down 2 scores at 14-0. Hockenbrock under center. And the handoff, I believe, is Andrews trying to follow Williams. Lots of traffic in the backfield and at the line of scrimmage, but the pile pushed forward to about the 1, 2nd down and goal. Right back up under center. Give is to
number 3.
Hopper.
Hopper on the carry off
and
the
he
left
did not
tackle.
get in.
He didn't get in.
3rd and goal. Again, out of timeouts, down to 10 seconds. Have to get the snap off. And again, they'll give it to Hopper. Did he get in? Touchdown, Southern Columbia. They were in the ultimate level of hurry up. They had no timeouts. They had to get lined up and get the snap off, and they get it in the end zone. Touchdown, Southern Columbia. Caden Hopper for the score.
Student body left on those last 2 plays with Caden Hopper. There were 3 running backs really tight. Almost looked like the 3 of them were in the fullback in the I position, all stacked on top of one another. And Hopper ended up getting the call on the last 2 plays and jumped in the end zone over the top.
So a huge drive for Southern Columbia. On comes Preston Shadle for the extra point. And now we've got a completely different complexion in this football game. Wyomissing had dominated the first half. They only led it 14-0. And the Tigers have cut that in half with 2.6 seconds to go in the half. Southern Columbia cashes it in. It's 14-7. Spartans still on top. So a huge drive there for Southern Columbia. The veteran coach, Jim Roth, no panic on the sidelines, although I think there was a few panic moments by some people between Jim Roth and us. That is the Southern Columbia fans.
Great poise by Hockenbrock, their junior quarterback, on that, leading his team down the field and protecting the football, making good decisions with his feet and through the air.
So a drive that took 2 minutes and all but 51 seconds off the second quarter clock. And again, Southern Columbia will kick it off. Wyomissing does have a timeout left, but again, they expect a short kickoff here. And the kickoff return should pretty much run out the first half. But you do have a guy named Fleischhood and a guy named Hardy back there to return it for Wyomissing, should they get the opportunity to touch the football. So Shado, who just kicked that extra point, will kick it off. And Southern Columbia will get the football to start the second half. Shado, a little onside kick. The ball's not knocked around a little bit. Just try to keep it on the ground. It wasn't necessarily an onside kick. Just wanted to keep it on the ground and make sure Hardy and Fleischer did not get a chance. They don't. And the clock for half number 1 will come to a conclusion. And we've got ourselves a completely different ball game with the Wyomissing Spartans and the Southern Columbia Tigers, 2 state powers, halfway through. Spartans 14,
If you are
Tigers
buying
7.
or selling a
When we
home,
come
contact
back,
Remax
it is
Real
time for our Lincoln Plumbing and Heating Halftime Show. You're listening to High School Football, presented by Savage Auto Group, live on WEEU in Reading.
And with his large catalog of repeat and referral customers, you know you can depend on Phil Macaronis, no matter where you're looking for your next home. Call 610-670-2770 or call Phil directly anytime at 610-858-4555. Updating your furniture and appliances? The Habitat for Humanity Restore of Berks County can help. The Restore offers free pickup of your gently used furniture and appliances from your Berks County home. We offer convenient scheduling for our free pickups through our website, restoreberks.org. Located at 5370 Allentown Pike in Temple, the Restore is open from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Tuesdays through Saturdays. You might just find that special thing to tie the room together at the Restore. Support your community with your donation to the Habitat for Humanity Restore of Berks County.
Tonight's halftime show is brought to you by Lincoln Plumbing and Heating. When you need a plumber, get a good one. Locally owned and operated for over 50 years, Lincoln Plumbing has the experience to help from a leaky faucet to a whole bathroom remodel. Call 610-376-0863 from Lincoln Plumbing and Heating, as honest as their name. 14-7 is our score here at Southern Columbia. Wyomissing with a 57-yard touchdown run for Daniel Fleischhood, an 8-yard run for Justice Hardy to get out on top 14-0. But Southern Columbia closes the gap in the final seconds of half number one on a 1-yard touchdown run for Caden Hopper. And that's where we are in our ball game here live on the radio and on YouTube as well. If you haven't found it yet, 830 WEU, 830 Sports WEU is our YouTube page. Find it. You can watch all of our high school football coverage throughout the 2025 season. We'll send things back now to our WEU studios and Jeff Nolan and Matt Knob with more of our Lincoln Plumbing and Heating halftime show.
Bob, I'm Matt Knob, joined here by Travis Sparks, halftime report. Travis?
Yeah, you remembered my name. Thank you, buddy.
Absolutely. I certainly remember your name. Glad to see you again. High school football is back. First half action up in Catawissa. Wyomissing leads Southern Columbia 14-7 at the break. Good start for the Spartans to get out to the early.
We talked about early season turnovers in the first half, and it turns out that Southern Columbia commits 3. Very unlike a Jim Roth team from years past, but kind of like a carbon copy of last year's game. So 14-7 at the half, and Jeff's across the road with our interns here. So
yes.
I think he's trusting us. You're trusting us? Okay.
You mentioned Travis, a carbon copy of last year's first half. Southern Columbia falls behind 28-0 thanks to 4 turnovers. This year, 3 turnovers, but they're still in the game with that, thanks to the 1-yard touchdown run by Hopper there just before the first half.
And Bob and Matt pointed it out perfectly. Jim Roth is not one to panic, especially in these last 10, 15 years. You don't win 7 straight state titles by panicking. And he knows what his team is capable of. And I'm looking for a cleaner second half here. But Wyomissing, great first half. Great job of pouncing on those turnovers.
Pouncing on those turnovers, the Spartans lead 14-7 at the break over Southern Columbia. Taking a look at some other scores from Berks County and beyond. Cumberland Valley and Manheim Township are knotted 0-0. Lower Dolphin leads Cedar Crest 14-3 in the second quarter, and Dallastown leads Hempfield 7-3 in the second quarter. What's going on with that Conestoga Valley Penn Manor game, Travis?
Yeah, some LL scores here. Conestoga Valley leads Penn Manor 14-0. That's a second quarter score. Exeter and Daniel Boone. Wow, we might be talking continuous clock mode here for this one. 35-0. Exeter leads Daniel Boone, and that's in the second quarter. And Governor Mifflin currently tied with Pleasant Valley out of the Poconos 7-7 in the first.
Muhlenberg leads Schuylkill Valley 14-7. Fred Lacey returned the opening kickoff 89 yards to put the Mules on the board. Then it was Baez to Miller, 62 yards. Mules relying on the big plays tonight, taking on a district finalist in Schuylkill Valley. We'll keep a close eye on that one through the second half and have the final for you later tonight. Notre Dame, Green Pond, and Garden Spot. This was the basketball score from last year. Not that many points this year, Travis.
No, 7-0 currently in the second quarter. Last year the game was 71-64. It was back and forth all night long, but a low-scoring game so far. Also in LL Section 3, Mannheim Central taking on West Philly, and Mannheim Central leads 21-16, and that is a first quarter score.
Lampeter, Strasburg, and Solanco, the Milk Jug game. LS leads 17-14 in the second quarter. Solanco, a lot of preseason press, but it's LS up right now by 3 points.
More from the LL 4-5 crossovers here. Twin Valley up on Berks Catholic 26-3 in the second quarter, and Octorara up on Hamburg 14-0. That's in the second quarter. One more from LL Section 5, and I can't wait to hear when Jeff Nolan tries to pronounce Pequay
Good
Valley.
Good thing
again.
he's not here.
Pequay Valley up on Delaware County Christian. Oh, speak of the devil, Delaware County Christian 10-0 in the second quarter.
We're going to take a quick break, and we will be back after this right here on the Halftime Report on 830 WEEU.
Looking for the best pizza in Berks? Come to Nino's Pizza and Italian Restaurant, located along Richmond Street in Reading. Whether grabbing a pie to share before the game, getting delivery for the team, or you're looking for a real Italian dining experience in a grotto-style restaurant, put Nino's on the top of your roster. As the official pizza of WEEU's Slice of Sports, Nino's knows how to feed athletes and the rest of your crew. Nino's Pizza and Italian Restaurant, 515 Richmond Street. Call 610-921-2300 or visit ninosristorante.com.
Back here on the Halftime Report, I'm Matt Knob, joined by Travis Sparks, and Jeff Nolan has made his way into the studio.
I'm working with the interns. We have 2 new interns.
Yes,
They're doing
we
a
do.
great job, and we were just going over touchdowns and everything. So, yeah, we are getting the interns are getting education, real time here.
And the student athletes up in Catawissa, Wyomissing leads over Southern Columbia 14-7. We will send it back to Bob McCool and Matt Lytle in just a little bit, but we have a couple more scores to go over off the grid. Travis, what do you got?
All right, so out in Pittsburgh.
Where?
Pittsburgh.
No, we think we refer to it as the Whippeal, don't we?
Oh, the Whippeal.
Come on now, let's get the terminology right.
All right. Bust on the new guy. The KDKA Classic out at Woodland Hills, that's a 5-game festival. The first game is done already. North Allegheny beat Woodland Hills 28-26. Second game at 8 o'clock tonight. LaSalle out of Pittsburgh taking on Pittsburgh Central Catholic. That'll kick off in just a moment. Other games off the grid, Coatesville leading Garnet Valley in District 1, 14-3. That's in the second quarter. Up the coal region, Shamokin leading Pottsville 14-0, and that is a second quarter score. And then a crossover game between East Penn and Mid Penn, Allentown Central Catholic and Trinity, and the Shamrocks currently lead the Vikings. Trinity up 7-6, and that is a first half score.
We do have a post-game show coming, Matt, and we have quite a few writers are going to join us post-game. We're going to get Adam Cook, Twin Valley Berks Catholic. He is there at that game. We'll talk to him.
The Raiders up big so far.
I saw that, right. We had a discussion about this, like what does this team return in Twin Valley? Obviously, they've still got a lot of great
the offense
components.
is still there.
Yeah, the offense is still there. Our buddy Andrew Heller is going to check in, West Philly and Mannheim Central. Also, Jarrett Montalto from the Reading Eagle, Lancaster Lancaster Cath. I wrote down the wrong game. He's at Muhlenberg and Schuylkill Valley. Right. Eric Epler, Travis, you just mentioned, Allentown Central Catholic in Trinity. And then Bob McCool is going to check in with our game. Jarek Leckler has got CD East and William Penn. And then shortly after 11 o'clock, what do we have, Matt? Our first edition of the year of what?
Billy Splains it all. Our friend Billy Splain will have 2 minutes and not a second more to tell us as much as he can without taking one single breath.
Yes. Well, I think he's going to take more than one breath. But Travis, we gave him an actual ticker. So he's going to hear the ticker in the background and a buzzer at the end. So he knows at the buzzer he is done. But Billy do a lot of damage in 2 minutes.
I would rather match game think music, but if you want to give him a ticker.
We have 9 weeks to change it. So maybe the match game music does make an appearance.
Yeah, so he's out there. I think him and Jared at the same game, so we won't get the double report. But a lot of coverage this year. We've got a lot of coverage opening week. And again, we're expanding the area a little bit. We're kind of drifting off to different parts. I do want to remind our listeners, especially the Wyomissing family, the Mic'd Up with Coach Bob Wolfram went up today, and Adam Cook did a tremendous job with that. And It is a great video, having him mic'd up. I don't think he's used to having a mic on, but boy, he was tremendous. Just raw, natural, old school coaching and conversation. It was a fun watch on all of our social media platforms at 830 WEEU, X, Instagram, and also on Facebook. Check it out. Mic'd Up with Bob Wolfram. It is a Hall of Fame classic.
In his natural habitat, the coach Bob Wolfram still running practice all these years later.
By the way, my natural habitat right there in the kitchen next to the refrigerator. I'll be going there after our segment's over. But we do have to remind everybody, we'll see you after the game with all the scores and all the highlights on the scoreboard show. We get ready to send it back out to Catawissa, where it is a lead at the halftime for Wyomissing. What bodes in the second half? Well, out there is Matt Lytle and Bob McCool to fill you in.
Is once again the #1 rated auto dealership in Pennsylvania. Thinking it's time to trade up for something newer? We offer the most insane trade-in values you'll find anywhere. Whether you're looking for a new or certified pre-owned vehicle, our dedicated team will make sure you drive away happy. Visit us today at savage61.com and see why we're Pennsylvania's top choice.
Looking for a game-winning play for your next tailgate or get-together? Score big this season with trays from Chick-fil-A. Delicious chicken nuggets and chicken strips, fruits and garden salads, chocolate chunk cookies, their delicious mac and cheese. Make a play with Chick-fil-A and you'll be a winner every time. Visit Chick-fil-A at Broadcasting Square, 5th Street Highway, and Exeter Commons. Chick-fil-A voted America's favorite fast food restaurant.
Welcome back to Lincoln Plumbing and Heating halftime show. Thanks to guys back at WEEU Studios. Don't forget to tune them in after the game's over with for our scoreboard show. They'll be on until 11:30 tonight, rounding around all through Berks County and beyond of high school football and the opening night of high school football. We'll be back at it again with more high school football next Friday night. Reading High at Muhlenberg in the battle for the border. We'll have that one presented by Savage Auto Group. 6:30 is our pregame showtime. 7 o'clock is kickoff time from Muhlenberg. And, of course, that follows the Nittany Extra show presented by Appella Wealth in Wyomissing at 6 o'clock. Rich Garcella and yours truly get you set for the Penn State Nittany Lions opener next Saturday against Nevada. And we'll have that one for you in WEU. That is a 3:30 kickoff. Steve Jones and Jack Ham back at it for another season of Penn State football. Just like Matt Lytle, Bob McCool back with you here at Southern Columbia for another season of high school football. 14-7 is our score. The Wyomissing Spartans got the football first, were unable to pick up a first down, punted the football. Southern Columbia got it back, and the Tigers turned it over on interception. And on the very next play, Daniel Fleischer takes it to the house, 57 yards and a touchdown. Wyomissing was up 7-0. Tigers put together a nice drive in the second for their second possession, picked up a couple of first downs, had it into Wyomissing territory before another interception. This time, the first interception was by Justice Hardy. The second one was by Marcus Armistead. And Wyomissing was able to flip the field on a big run for Chase Eisenhower. The fullback goes for 59 yards. And eventually the Spartans take it in 8 yards out, a Justice Hardy touchdown run to put the Spartans on top 14-0. But Southern Columbia, in their final possession, not only didn't they not turn it over, but they took it in for the touchdown to make it a 14-7 game. Caden Hopper going in for the touchdown to make it 14-7. And Matt mentioned this before we went to break at halftime. Southern Columbia will get the football to start the second half. They won the toss. They deferred to take the football. That stands to be a very big decision made by Jim Roth at that point in time, because now with that touchdown, with 2 seconds left to go in the half, this is a completely different ball game. Wyomissing had dominated with those 3 turnovers. Southern Columbia they moved the sticks, but they couldn't get in the end zone. This time they did. It's now a 1-score game, and the Tigers get the ball to start quarter number 3.
Yeah, Jim Roth has got to be excited going into that locker room at only a deficit of 14-7. With 3 turnovers, they should be pretty darn happy. You would think this game would be a little different, with that type of turnover differential. I would see, getting the ball here in the second half. We'll see what they do, opening drive. But if they can put together another drive and tie this ball game up, this is going to be a slobber knocker of a second half.
And this is, again, we've talked about this a little bit in the pregame show. This is a Southern Columbia team that was unlike most Southern Columbia teams last year. It struggled for a while before it finally got it together. They found the players in the mix, and they bring them all back. But at this time last year, it was 28-0 Wyomissing. So that's the evolution, if you want to call it that, of Southern Columbia, how far they've come in a year's time. that they're now even with the Spartans, or all but even with the Spartans as they start the second half. So it's got to be a world of difference. No doubt the conversation in the locker room is a world of difference for Southern Columbia. They were trying to figure out who wanted to go back out and play in the third quarter. But the Tigers, when you have a guy that's done what Jim Roth has done, you know that they're eventually going to find a way to get players to understand what they need to do and what their roles are. And again, if they can not self-inflict in the second half, they're in a position where they can take a win on opening night.
I think one of the factors of this game in the first half where I see a deficit, or I should see a win, is Southern Columbia is winning in the trenches. They've got 4 returning starters on their defensive front in Mikowski, Carter, Quinton, and Williams, and they're doing a heck of a job up front. They're putting pressure on Eisenhower when he's rolling out. Matter of fact, they sacked him on the one when he was rolling to his left, and they're putting pressure. They're getting into the backfield. If it wasn't for the turnovers and the Wyomissing's big runs by Hardy and Fleischhood, and then Eisenhower on that 59-yard scamper just ran out of gas at the 10-yard line. I mean, this would be a different ballgame.
For sure. I mean, Wyomissing's had those big plays, and that's really the difference. And when you look at the ground attack for Wyomissing, they had only 4 first downs on the ground in that first half, 1 by way of penalty. But Eisenhower with just 4 carries for 62 yards. Hardy carried it the most, 5 carries for 34. Fleischhood only had the 1 carry for the 57 yards. And Idrowski's carried it a couple of times. And Brady Eisenhower with one carry gets credit for a loss of a carry on a 6-yard sack. So the Spartans not really able to generate a whole lot of offense, yet they still lead it by a 14-0 score. And not surprising to me that Southern Columbia is the first team out of the locker room. And Wyomissing is a little bit slower to come back out of the locker room. And I would imagine that Bob Wolfram had some thoughts to talk about with his team, not really happy with the way his team played. And he was talking about that with us a little bit in our pregame conversation. That we know that there's a lot of people back for Wyomissing, but they still have a lot of pieces that they have to find places for. And obviously a lot of that was up front on the offensive line. But he said that we just have guys who just don't really have an understanding of this game at this point in time of the season. And that's not a comfort level for Bob Wolfram and his coaching staff to feel like, you know what, we're not anywhere near where we want to be. I know you want to be better in October and into November, but at the same time, you don't want to start the season and still not sure how good your team really is.
Yeah, he was talking about understanding, and I think that understanding piece he was talking to us about, Bob, I think that's a lot of it's execution. It's lack of knowing what to do in these big situations or what to do when your defender does this. Well, obviously, if he steps to the left, you need to step to the left. Or, the fundamentals aren't there, making the right choices when the fundamentals and Bob's all about discipline and fundamental coaching and, X's and O's and doing your job. And I think that's what he's talking about. Right now, he doesn't have all 5 guys up front that are doing their job to their abilities right now.
So we'll see if it improves a little bit in the second half. Again, the Spartans very late to get out from the locker room. They just got back out on the field, and they want to do a little bit of stretching. And Southern Columbia is already lining up for the kickoff return. So we'll see how that plays out. If the Wyomissing Spartans are going to get cut short a little bit on the stretching, or if the officials are going to say, all right, boys, we're ready to kick off here for half number 2. I think Southern Columbia is just jumping at the gun right now because they want to get out here and play. They're feeling their oats a little bit. They want to get started. And Wyomissing's like, yeah, we'll be there in a minute.
We may not see any cramps, too. Did you feel the temperature? There had to been like a 15, 20 degree.
Yeah, once the sun went down, it's a different.
Feels great.
And by the way, this is my first opportunity to be here at Southern Columbia. And it was a box I wanted to check off. There were 2 left. Southern Columbia and Mount Carmel were the 2 places I had not gotten to. Well, we got past Mount Carmel on the way here, but this is the first time this is a great setup. They've done things a lot of ways here at Southern Columbia, but they roll out the red carpet for us. They've been very hospitable for us, and it's a great setting. You got mountains on one side, you got cornfields on the other side, and a beautiful setup here on a great stadium and a great turf field.
Yeah, a great Friday night, great community setting. I mean, to your point, the mountains on one side, and then you got cornfields on the other. It's a nice, crisp air. I mean, this second half is going to be fun.
And again, the Tigers are going to get the football and start the second half. Egan Mayer will kick it off. And the return men for Southern Columbia, just like Wyomissing, they use their 2 halfbacks as the return men. That's Grady Garcia and Braden Andrews. Andrews for Southern Columbia carried it 7 times for 34. It was the fullback Joey Williams who came up big, especially in that touchdown drive for Southern Columbia. He ends up as the leading rusher in half number one with 13 carries and 72 yards. So Keegan Mayer waiting for the officials to give him the football and kick it off. Again, this is a District 4 officiating crew, but not surprisingly, Bob Wolfram, they knew Bob Wolfram before it started, and they were telling, yeah, we had a couple of your playoff games. I mean, you've been coaching for 39 years, and you've been in all kinds of playoffs. I mean, yeah, these two guys, not only are they great coaches, but they're just two good guys. I mean, you can stand there, you can talk football with these two guys for a long time, Jim Roth and Bob Wolfram.
Yeah, I had to get a picture of the two coaching legends side by side. 878 wins combined. That's impressive.
Yeah, number 1 all-time in the state, number 6 all-time in the state. And Bob Wolfram isn't going away anytime soon. He'll continue to climb. Good kickoff by Mayer. This will be Garcia from his own 7-yard line. Straight up the gut, 25-30, 35. Garcia still on his feet, trying to get away from the kicker, Mayer, who makes a nice tackle at the 40-yard line.
Nice job by Garcia, ducking and bobbing and weaving all the way out to Southern Columbia 40. That's a great start for second half here for the Tigers.
So Braden Andrews had a nice punt return, and now Grady Garcia with a nice kickoff return. Good field position for Southern Columbia to start. 14-7, Wyomissing's on top. Southern Columbia starts the third quarter, 1st and 10 from their own 40-yard line. Second half is Braden Andrews as he tries to get outside, turns it upfield and out close to midfield. And if he got midfield, he's got a first down.
Not sure what Wyomissing was doing there, but Southern Columbia got up on the ball. Wyomissing was still standing 5 yards back, and Southern Columbia snapped the ball, and it was like a mob of Wyomissing players. They were not ready and not set up and in position.
So Andrews actually knocked out of bounds just shy of the 50. So it's second officially and a yard after the 9-yard gain for Braden Andrews. Give is to Williams, the fullback, looking for daylight. Bounces off a tackle and will drag a tackler with him. I believe it's Bresnahan from behind who wraps him up, but it's enough for a Southern Columbia first down. They had 8 on the ground in the first half, and now they have 1 here in the second, and they're in Wyomissing territory at the Spartan 49.
Yeah, and Andrew Bresnahan, senior defensive lineman, tackling Williams from behind for a short gain.
To the 49 and a gain of 2. Hockenbrock wants to throw it. Little out route. It's picked off. Armistead has it. Armistead with nothing but daylight in front of him, and no one's going to catch him. Marcus Armistead with the pick off and turns it into 6.
Hockenbrock is going to want to have that throw back. He threw it behind his receiver, and it was almost like easy taken for Armistead. Armistead jumped right in front and took it the distance. Took it 51 yards for a touchdown. Big play there by Armistead. Pick 6 to the end zone.
His second interception of the football game, and Wyomissing flips it that quickly. Southern Columbia had some bounce in their step coming out of the locker room, but the defense for Wyomissing with a different idea. Armistead with the pick. As Matt said, he returns at 51 yards. He had nothing but daylight out in front of him after the interception. High snap. Lecker gets it down, and Mayer gets it through. 10:52 left to go in the third quarter, and Wyomissing turns the interception into a touchdown and a 21-7 lead back to Southern Columbia quickly after this.
If you are buying or selling a home, contact RE/MAX real estate agent Phil Macaronis. With over 20 years of experience and a member of the RE/MAX Hall of Fame, Phil does it all, from residential to commercial real estate sales. And with his large catalog of repeat and referral customers, you know you can depend on Phil Macaronis, no matter where you're looking for your next home. Call 610-670-2770 or call Phil directly anytime at 610-858-4555.
So Marcus Armistead with the second pickoff of the night for him. Third interception for Wyomissing's defense.
That's 3 turnovers for him, isn't it? He's got two
That's
picks,
right. He ripped the fumble out. You are correct.
A strip.
He stripped the ball out of Joey Williams' hands. You are correct. So 4 turnovers in total for Southern Columbia. And Armistead has had his hands on 3 of those 4. More importantly now for Wyomissing, they've got themselves a 21-7 lead. But you could see it, Matt, out of the locker room. Southern Columbia had a bounce in their step for sure. Even in that drive, that first run by Andrews, as you said, they were at the line of scrimmage. They were ready to roll. And Wyomissing was backpedaling a little bit, and bang. Armistead just took the wind out of their sails a little bit. See if Southern Columbia can recover.
They absolutely had the momentum. They had the mindset. They came out here ready to play, and it was like, Wyomissing was off kilter there. They were late lining up one of the plays and, lost 8-9 yards on the play because they weren't ready. And Southern Columbia, I mean, that was a big play by Armistead. Really just took the wind out of the sails, to your point.
And now Garcia on the kickoff return, not so much on this one. The first one went back to the 40. This one he will not get to the 25. 10:46 left to go in the third quarter. We'll see how the Tigers respond to this particular turnover, as they will be backed up from their own 24-yard line to start their second drive of the third quarter. We told you that Wyomissing's not going to win the play at the time of possession battle.
Yeah, said that.
They certainly aren't in this one, but they're up by 2 scores. Williams, the fullback in the backfield. Garcia on one side. He goes in motion right side to left. Hockenbrock fakes the handoff to him. He wanted to run with it, I guess, but he had no time to do anything.
That was a great play there. And was that Nadrowski on the tackle?
Yes, it was.
Nadrowski on that tackle almost like guarded Joey Williams and looking at him and took the quarterback all in one play. He played that very nice.
As I said, I don't know if Hockenbrock wanted to roll out, but it doesn't matter. He didn't have time to do anything because the Spartans had it bottled up. He gains a yard on the forward lean, makes it 2nd and 9. Here's a handoff for Andrews, trying to get outside, gets bounced down shy of the 30. Looks like forward progress will put him at the 29. That's 4 more for Braden Andrews.
Yeah, tackled there again by Nadrowski and an assist by Justice Hardy. Andrews with some hard running. I mean, he's going up against some bruisers at linebacker with Wyomissing.
9 carries a night now for Andrews for unofficially 47 yards, but these Tigers are now in a 3rd and 5. Kissinger will split out to the left. Nate Gallagher split out to the right. Hockenbrock looking for the quick hitter. It's Malachowski, the tight end, and he's in the free. 50, 40, foot race with Armistead to the 25-20, and run out of bounds inside the 10. And a flag's going to come down as well as Armistead throws Jace Malachowski to the turf out of bounds. It will be 1st down and goal to go for Southern Columbia.
I love that play call by Southern Columbia, coming right back to their quarterback, allowing him to throw the ball. That was a nice slant route by Malachowski, and Hockenbrock put it right on the money, and it was off to the foot races. And unfortunately, that was a unsportsmanlike by Armistead, slinging him out of bounds at the end of the play. But so nice pitch and catch there by the Tigers.
It goes for a 60-yard gain to the tight end. Third catch of the game, for Malachowski. And then on the penalty, it'll be half the distance to the goal line. So Southern Columbia now will have it 1st and goal to go at the 5-yard line.
Malachowski showed some wheels there,
yeah, he
too.
Did.
Big kid can run.
They spread him off the line of scrimmage, a little slant in, and he was off. Here's Garcia trying to get outside. Steve Arm will get him outside, and Grady Garcia will take it in. Got away from Hardy and took it to the house for 5 yards.
Yeah, nice speed. Speed and quickness getting on the outside. Nice run by Garcia.
Well, the bell was answered by Southern Columbia as the Tigers come right back with a score of their own to get themselves right back to what they hoped is within 7, pending the extra point coming up here from Preston Shadle. Kissinger is his holder. Snap a bit high. He gets the kick. He gets the hold down. He gets the kick through. 9:22 left to go in quarter number 3. And the Tigers respond. They are right back in this. It is 21-14. Wyomissing now on top. So Grady Garcia takes it in for 5 yards out. But again, the big play, the hookup from Aiden Hockenbrock to his tight end, Jace Malachowski, who was actually split out as a wide receiver. Just a little slant in and up the gut, right up the seam for Malachowski.
Very well played, very well, great play call, and very well executed by Hockenbrock and Malachowski.
Goes as a 5-play drive and a total of 76 yards. Again, 60 of it on that hookup to the tight end Malachowski. So the Tigers right back in it. And still a ton of time left to go in this football game, but now 9:22 left to go in the third. Blyshud and Hardy will be the return men should Southern Columbia kick it to them. Don't know that there's going to be a whole lot of teams who are going to choose that option to kick it to either one of those two. Right, you stick around. Coming up tonight with our Pizza Como post-game show. Matt will be down on the field with a post-game interview. We'll have our play and player of the game as well. Here's Hardy from the 10, 20. Kicks it around, makes a man miss, trying to go east to west. Now back up north-south across the 25. And Southern Columbia will wrap him up right around that spot. Wyomissing about to run its first play on offense here in the second half. After the interception by Armistead, and then the touchdown drive for Southern Columbia. Wyomissing will start at 1st and 10 from their own 25-yard line. 1 for 3 throwing in the first half for the sophomore Brady Eisenhower. And Hardy with the most carries with 34. Chase Eisenhower with the most yards at 62 on 4 carries. Hardy's on the wing on the left. Fleischert on the wing on the right. Fleischert goes in motion. Here's the inside reverse to Hardy. Hardy had a seam and then wrapped up, but he's close to a first down depending on where they spot it.
That was a great run by Justice Hardy. He hit that hole hard. I mean, he was shot out of a cannon on that. It was a first and 10 and gain of almost 9.
Second down and 1 now for the Spartans from their own 34-yard line.
And his explosive running is tough. It's unmatched. Like, it was hard following him through that hole. He got through the front 7 pretty quick.
Andrew DiFabrizio split out as the split out on the right side. Again, Fleischert goes in motion to give his to Fleischert. Kind of got knocked off his stride in the backfield and had a reverse upfield and doesn't get much and wrapped up and brought down.
Enough for the first down, though.
It was enough. Caden Zachman comes in from his free safety spot to bring Fleischert down at the 35. He needed a yard. He got the yard. It's 1st and 10. 7 first downs now on the night for Wyomissing. Fleischert and Chase Eisenhower split in the backfield. Hardy from the wing goes in motion to give his to Eisenhower. And Chase will pick up a couple.
Yeah, great job there by the Tigers front 4, just holding Chase Eisenhower to a couple 2-3 yard gain on that 30-36 or fullback dive.
Gain of just 3 for Eisenhower on his 5th carry of the night. 2nd down and 7. Again, Chase, the senior, his younger brother Brady, the sophomore quarterback. So the Eisenhower brothers have had all 3 of the components of that backfield. Chase has been the fullback. Brady is the quarterback. And big brother Drew was a halfback. Here's Hardy. Hardy has a seam. Hardy's gone. Justice Hardy will take it to the house. Another big play for Wyomissing. This will be 62 yards, and Justice Hardy is in the end zone.
Untouched. He did not get touched on that play, and he was shot out of a cannon. I'm telling you, the 2 runs he's had right now, I mean, that was electric. Impressive run. 62 yards, Justice Hardy. That's going to be hard for the camera to follow.
We'll see how Maggie May Crawl does with all this action down the field. She's going to have all of our videos up on social media over the course of the next week. She's getting a workout on the sidelines as Justice Hardy takes it 62. Look at her. She's right there with the play. She's an old pro already. Here comes Keegan Mayer in for the extra point attempt. And it's up and home with 7:18 to go. Wyomissing right back with that quick strike ability. The Spartans and Justice Hardy in the end zone. When we come back, it's Southern Columbia trailing Wyomissing 28-14 live on 8:30 a.m. WEEU, the voice of Berks and beyond.
Redner's Markets is a part of the Berks County community, proudly employee, local, and American-owned since 1970. Your support has made Redner's a staple, and your continued commitment is rewarded with the Redner's Rewards Program. Shopping at the markets earns you big savings with grocery deals, special offers and services, and surprise savings. Rewards members save at the pump, too, with discounts on fuel prices at our 7 Redner's Quick Stops and many more select locations. Shop, earn, and save with the Redner's mobile app. Sign up at the store or online at rednersmarkets.com.
Well, they say the wing T is a grinded out kind of football game, but these 2 teams have shown there's other ways to make the wing T have some big strikes, both teams, including what Southern Columbia has done. They've had some big plays of their own as well.
Yeah, it's some of these plays are electric, and time of possession game here is definitely going to the Tigers. Wyomissing just keeps scoring 1 play here, 2 plays there. It's Hardy on 62-yard touchdown run. You just had Armistead on a 51-yard pick six. Some impressive plays. And then you had Malachowski over with the Tigers taking it 60 yards, just shy of the end zone there. Armstead kept him out of the end zone, but he was showing his speed there. That was a big play for the Tigers as well.
So Justice Hardy ran for 752 yards and 11 touchdowns last year with Wyomissing. Over 100 yards already in this one now with that 62-yard run at 105 and a couple of scores as well. This will be Garcia from his own 10, 20. That breaks a tackle, 25 and 30. Garcia trying to get away from Mayer. And again, Keegan Mayer with his second tackle on special teams. The kicker wraps up Garcia and waits for help at around the 36-yard line.
You love seeing the kicker trying to get a little down and dirty, making some tackles. Going back to Justice Hardy, though, Bob, I don't know if I've told you this or not. He already has a Division I offer from Liberty University, yes, which is great. Not sure what they want him for, whether it's defensive back,
right,
receiver, running back, but he does have a Division I offer already.
Yeah, and just a junior, there's going to be a whole lot more offers for Justice, but I will be very curious about that because I think at that next level, I think he might be a defensive back as spectacular as he is offensively. There's a handoff up the middle. That's Joey Williams again, the fullback. No, it's not. It's Andrews up the middle this time, running for daylight and running for a Southern Columbia first down.
Really hard running by that kid. Wrestler by nature, just low to the ground, low gravity runner, and he's tough to bring down.
To the 47-yard line is where they'll spot him down. Gain of 11 for Andrews on his 10th carry of the night. First and 10 for Southern Columbia at their own 47-yard line. 6:40 and counting left to go in the third. Hockenbach wants to throw a play action fake, looking for Malachowski. It's over his head and off the fingertips of Justice Hardy and incomplete.
Justice got one hand on it, and he's wishing he had that one all over again. He almost brought that in with his left hand. Would have been another turnover for the Tigers. But looking for his big tight end, number 8, covered by Justice on that play.
Yeah, Jace Malachowski, 6'3", 210-pound junior, had the big play Matt was just talking about before that helped set up that touchdown drive for Southern Columbia at the end of the first half. That time too tall even for him, and incomplete at 2nd and 10. Garcia will go in motion right side to left. Here's the inside reverse, back to Andrews, and Wyomissing is there. They'll wrap him up. Flag goes down as Nadrowski and Eisenhower again on the tackle. Let's see what the flag's all about.
They're going to call Nadrowski with a face mask. I think Nadrowski was trying to strip the football, but Andrews being so low center of gravity and shifty, he probably got his hand up there on some metal.
So the play was a stop at the line of scrimmage for no gain, but penalty flag, we'll see it's a 5-yard variety to Southern Columbia's advantage. It will put it into Wyomissing territory at the 48-yard line. So it'll remain second down. It'll be 2nd down and 5 now coming up for Southern Columbia. So they tried for that inside reverse. Again, these two teams both run the wing T, and Wyomissing was waiting for it. But unfortunately for the Spartans, the penalty flag puts it into Southern Columbia territory at the 48-yard line. Here's Andrews again trying to get outside.
Nadrowski he's trying to strip him again. I think that's what happened in the past. He almost got away with it a second time.
Andrews gets 2 to the 46, excuse me. It'll be 3rd down and 3.
Wrestlers do have strong hands and grip, so it's going to be tough to get the ball from Andrews.
A penalty, by the way, against the Spartans, they're 6th. 3rd and 3 coming up for Southern Columbia. Give us to Williams. The fullback has daylight. Tripped up from behind, but after he gets the first down to about the 41-yard line, I think it was Nadrowski who got it by the shoe tops.
Either Nadrowski or number 9. That was Micah Rogers.
It looks
Micah
like
Rogers in at defensive line as he was going down may have tripped him up.
It looks like Williams is slow to get up. Let's see what the story is. This might be our first cramping of the night.
Either cramping or he may have landed on the football when he tripped.
Yeah, I think he thought he was free, and then all of a sudden, as I said, somebody, whether it was Strong or whether it was Nadrowski, got it by the shoe top.
Looks like you're right. Looks like cramp.
Yeah. So we'll keep an eye on whether or not how soon Williams can get back in there. After getting tripped up, but not before he picks up the first down for Southern Columbia. The Tigers are going to have it at their own 42-yard line. He needed 3. He got 4. It's the 15th carry of the night for Joey Williams. But he makes the ginger walk to the sideline. Looks like the Tigers are going to counter with a couple of receivers in there. With Kissinger and Gallagher are going to check in now on 1st and 10.
Gallagher, senior, it's the first time I've seen him in there with Kissinger. Gallagher, 6'3", 185-pound split end and defensive back.
He'll come out to the right side, Kissinger to the left. And they give
New runner.
It's Talon Piat who comes in as the replacement for Williams. They handed it off to him. He tried to get outside and could not. That's why missing a wrap him up right around the line of scrimmage, no gain.
Yeah, Talon Piat. He's another senior, 5'6", 180-pound running back, defensive back, getting the call on that carry.
Yeah, he starts at on a defense for Southern Columbia. That's his first carry of the night, but for no gain as we hit the 5-minute mark of the third quarter. 28-14, Wyomissing on top. Southern Columbia with a football in Spartan territory. 2nd down and 10 at the 42-yard line. Kissinger split out to the right side this time. A lone receiver on the field. Back to the 2 halfbacks, one on the left, one on the right. Hockenbrock wants to throw it. Deep drop, throwing underneath for Andrews. Needs some blocks. There's nothing but Spartans around him.
Nice job by the pursuit there by Nadrowski to Hockenbrock, and then you had Chase Eisenhower staying at home. That was a design screen to Andrews. Eisenhower stayed home with Andrews. As soon as Andrews got the ball, Eisenhower was there to wrap him up. Great play by Chase Eisenhower at the middle linebacker position, along with Nadrowski putting on the pressure.
So that goes as a loss on the play, puts it all the way back to the 46-yard line now for Southern Columbia. It's going to be a 3rd down and 15 now for the Tigers. Might very well be 4-down territory for Southern Columbia, depending on how much they can get here. If they can get a chunk of it, at least half of it here, Jim Roth probably goes for it on 4th down. Let's see what happens. Hockenbrock wants to throw for it. Looking for the fly route. Jump ball for Malachowski. Did he make the catch? He did not. Broken up defensively. Good job by the Spartans, I believe. That Dominic Arguelles.
Dominic Arguelles, yeah, senior, 6 foot, 145. Pass breakup. Nice job.
So they tried to throw it high for the 6'3 Malachowski, but the Spartans are able to match that and force the incompletion. So as I said, depending on whether or not they can get some of it, may change Jim Ross' mind, but they get nothing there, so they will punt the football instead. And Hardy is back there as the return man for Wyomissing. He'll field it on a hop at about the 10. And a great open field tackle, I believe, by Garcia to get Justice Hardy right at the 10.
Yeah, that was a nice open field tackle there. And no, that
No,
wasn't
it's not.
Garcia.
I believe that's 33, not 23.
Yeah.
That's Gavin Brown who made that tackle.
Gavin Brown, Jr., 5'7", 160-pound running back, defensive back. Really nice job.
That is not an easy thing to do in the open field to get Justice Hardy and bring him down. And a big play there for Southern Columbia because it's back and inside the 10. And now we got a cramping issue for Wyomissing. So wait to see who that is down on the field for the Spartans.
Is that Diamante Strong or is that
It's a single-digit number.
Dominic Arguelles?
Yeah, I'm not sure. We'll wait and see for sure once he gets up. It's definitely, I said, it's a cramping issue, it would appear. Dan Geeson, who's been the trainer for Wyomissing forever, along with Dr. Tom Cole out there to check and make sure. I think it's Wayne Reason, and it is. Wayne Reason, who starts in the defensive backfield spot and is one of the halfbacks that you'll see a lot of at Wyomissing as this season progresses. But again, a great open field tackle by junior Gavin Brown on special teams, tripping up Justice Hardy back inside his own 10-yard line at around the 9. 3:40 left to go. The Spartans backed up deep in their own territory, but they lead it 28-14. Matchup of 14-time state champion Southern Columbia, 12-time District 3 champion Wyomissing. And it was interesting to hear, Matt, before the game. I know there was conversations last year as to whether or not this series will continue. Well, Jim Roth and Bob Wolfram said it will. So if they say it will, I got to think it probably will.
Yeah, sounds like it's going to happen next year as well. So that's great. Love seeing these two powerhouses going at it.
1st and 10 at the 9. Give up the middle in a big hole, and nothing but daylight out ahead. And guess what? It's Justice Hardy up the middle, 30, 20. No one's going to catch Justice Hardy from beyond. This one,
91-yard touchdown run.
Justice Hardy with his 3rd score of the night, and they keep getting longer. The first one was 8. The The second one was 62, and this one will be a 91-yard touchdown up the middle for Justice Hardy.
Yeah, that was an impressive run, and it looks like he was running out of gas down around the 10-yard line, and he was limping back to the sidelines. Looks like he's laying on the sidelines over there. He's cramping as well. So there, we still are seeing the cramping, even though the temperature's cooled off. Kids still need to stay hydrated with how hot it was in the first half.
So on comes Keegan Mayer for another extra point attempt for Wyomissing. And
that's good.
He remains perfect, and the Spartans now increase their lead to a 3-score game for the first time. When we come back with 3:25 left to go in the third, it is Wyomissing 35, Southern Columbia 14.
Tripping faucet, AC on the fritz, breakers keep tripping. One call does it all. Keith Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Electrical. For 30 years, we've handled everything from routine maintenance to full system installs. Residential and commercial, we're fast, fair, and always reliable.
Call 877-KEITH for you. That's 877-KEATH for you. Or it was a thing.
So Justice Hardy tripped up deep in his own territory on the punt return on the nice open field tackle. Just give him the ball again, see what he can do.
I think it pissed him off, getting tackled by his shoestrings.
So the 91-yard touchdown run puts the Spartans back up on top and actually gives them their biggest lead of the night at 35-14. Still 3:25 left to go in this third quarter. Third quarter moving along a lot slower than the first two because there's a lot more scoring going on in this quarter. It was 14-7 Wyomissing at the half, and Southern Columbia scored with 2 seconds left to go in the half. Different story here thanks to the big playability of Wyomissing. Marcus Armistead with a pick 6 from 51 yards out. Justice Hardy, touchdown runs of 62 and 91 here in half number 2. Yard line, 10, 15, trying to get to the 20, and that's about as far as they'll go.
Nice tackle there on the kickoff for the Spartans by number 88, Andrew DiFabrizio, junior, 6-foot wide receiver.
So from their own 20, Southern Columbia back to work. Aiden Hockenbrock, the junior quarterback, been a rough go for him in this half because of what Wymissing's defense has done to him. Picked him off 3 times. Wyomissing has also pulled a fumble away from the Tigers as well. It's like Joey Williams is back in there as the fullback of that cramping issue, split the backfield with Andrews. And it's Andrews who gets the call following Williams. Nothing there, but Spartans are going to stack him up. Gain of maybe 3 on the play.
Yeah, nice job there by the interior defensive line by Wyomissing. I mean, that's where the gaps were in the first half. Looks like Westwood, Xander Westwood stepping up at the linebacker position, filling the A gap and making that tackle for a short gain of a couple.
Now we got another issue with Southern Columbia player. It's a cramping problem. So, again, this is what's going to happen. Opening night, second half is a hot, humid night. And as the night continues to go on, you get more and more of the cramping situation. And now when you have an offense, the way Wyomissing has an offense, you focus so much on that offense, and you sometimes lose sight of the defense. But this defense has been really good tonight. Obviously, they've forced the turnovers. That's kind of a little bit of a different category. But they've stuffed the run really, really well against the Southern Columbia wing team.
Yeah, I think they've done a tremendous job, and I credit that to, I mean, you've got some great defensive backs in Armistead and Hardy, but you think of that linebacking crew we talked about in Nadrowski, Chase Eisenhower, and then Xander Westwood, and you got Fleischhood in the mix there. They've got their linebacking core is strong, as is their halfback core, so or their running back core. So it's like a flip-flop, and they're not getting a lot of touches on the offensive side of the ball, so they're making it happen on defense.
Second down at 7 for the Southern Columbia Tigers from the 23. Hockenbrock back under center. He will hand it off. I believe this time it's Williams, and again, nothing doing. And it's Eisenhower this time. Chase Eisenhower will hit him and hit him quickly. Right around the line of scrimmage, bring up 3rd down and 7.
Yeah, nice job by Chase coming up, hitting him for no gain, stopping him at the line of scrimmage, wrapping him up. Joey Williams had nowhere to go.
So it's 3rd down and 7 now for Southern Columbia as the third quarter clock ticks its way down towards the 2-minute mark. Actually, 2:30 left to go in period number 3. 35-14 Wyomissing on top. Hockenbrock wants to throw it here. Looking for a little out route for Andrews, and he is hit immediately and wrapped up. Nowhere to go for the Wyomissing defense.
I tell you, really good job by Andrew DiFabrizio, wrapping up Andrews out all by himself, flanked out outside the numbers. Nice catch, and he turned upfield to run it, and DiFabrizio was not having it. Nice wrap, nice job.
Officially, that will go for a 1-yard gain, but a great job by DiFabrizio, and it's going to force Southern Columbia to punt the football. So it does go as a completion, but nothing doing for Andrews, who's caught the ball twice, once for a loss of 4, and now that one for a tough gain of 1. Hardy back out there, I believe, to return the punt.
No,
it's not.
Hardy. That's number 4.
I think that's Arguelles.
Yeah,
it is.
4.
Arguelles from his own 39, 45, 50, and run out of bounds in Southern Columbia territory and hit late in the process, and it's going to be 15 more yards added on, it would appear, against the Southern Columbia Tigers. So Dominic Arguelles in as the punt return man and giving Justice Hardy a chance to kind of recover a little bit in the sideline.
Arguelles showing some speed on that return, too. He looked like he was shot out of a cannon catching that ball going up the Spartan sidelines, and that incurred the late hit out of bounds.
So just the 3rd penalty against Southern Columbia, but the stiffest one of the night, the 15-yard personal foul penalty, will give the Spartans even better field position. They were already going to start on the Southern Columbia side of the 50, but now they're going to be well inside the 30, as they're going to spot this one down all the way down after they walk off the 15 to the 26-yard line. So a good return by Arguelles, and the penalty on top of it puts the Spartans in a position to knock on the door some more. Maybe even a knockout punch as well. They lead it by 3 scores. And they start 1st and 10 from the Southern Columbia 26-yard line. Hardy back in there, goes in motion. The give is to Nidrowski. And Nidrowski doesn't see much daylight. Pushes to about the 25 and a gain of 1.
So you got a minute left in the third quarter, and they're up 35-14. You think you see Brady Eisenhower as a sophomore? He's thrown the ball 3 times in the first half. Think you'll see him getting him some more reps against some live bullets in a team like Southern Columbia, where it'll prepare him for next week's no slouch either.
Haverford School, a team that gave Wyomissing problem last year. Again, Wyomissing always trying to find somebody who's willing to play them, and they had to go outside of a PIAA school and the Haverford School to find competition. They'll be at Wyomissing for the home opener. Here is Eisenhower looking to throw a little go route into the sidelines, and it is caught for a touchdown. DiFabrizio goes up high and makes the catch. A great throw and a great catch.
Nice. Wow. Coach Wolfram was reading my mind, Bob. He was reading my mind. Nice throw and catch by Eisenhower to DiFabrizio. It was a nice fade route, and over the top, DiFabrizio went up, high-pointed for a Wyomissing touchdown. First touchdown throw of Brady Eisenhower's Wyomissing quarterback career as a sophomore.
But
congratulations.
But to your point, that's exactly what you're trying to do at that point in time. I mean, I think we all know that Wyomissing can run the football.
Yes.
So let's get the sophomore a little bit of a chance to get some experience under his belt. And Eisenhower does make the throw, and a good throw, and again, a great catch by DiFabrizio. And Wyomissing adds on with 35 seconds now left to go in the third quarter. We'll keep it here as the Spartans are starting to break this thing open a little bit now. Now they lead at 42-14 as Wyomissing, thanks to the punt return, the penalty, and then the touchdown pass from Eisenhower to DiFabrizio. The Wyomissing Spartans now lead at 42-14.
16. Was that 16 yards?
That was 25 yards on that hookup. 25 from Eisenhower to DiFabrizio. So Garcia and Andrews again will be the return men for Southern Columbia. A little bit of jawing going on after that play's over with. Wyomissing spending a lot of time in their huddle on special teams. This may just been kind of a warning bell for Wyomissing, saying, "Hey, look, they're starting to get frustrated. Don't do anything stupid.
Stay disciplined,
Yep.
right?
Right."
That's to stay disciplined on both sides of the ball. And I think, with the coaches they have on the sidelines from Jim Roth to Bob Wolfram, I don't think you're going to see any nonsense from either team. It's but the score is now getting a little out of hand at 42-14. Let's see if Tigers can respond here after that touchdown pass.
Yeah, it's a 12-minute quarter in high school football, but it's been certainly a reversal of fortunes for Southern Columbia here in this third quarter when they came out and where it has ended. And they're a little bit indecision between the two return men and ends up in the end zone. So no return possibilities for Southern Columbia. And so they'll start it from their own 20-yard line. 35 seconds again remaining in quarter number 3.
Maher must be a cramp. Maher looks like he's down.
Yep. Yeah, it's a cramping issue now for the kicker. So it's starting to mount up here in this third quarter, the cramping problems. This Mayer is being tended to. But speaking of the Wyomissing Spartans, a former Spartan doing his best to try to make his way into the NFL. Max Hurleman, former Spartan who went on to play at Colgate and then goes to Notre Dame, plays in a national championship game with Notre Dame, now in a training camp for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and now he waits because the games are over. And so now Max Hurleman is trying to make the Pittsburgh Steelers and trying to make an NFL team.
Yeah, Bob, I've been watching his preseason games. Obviously, there's 3 now in the NFL. He just played the team close to my heart in the Panthers. He had 1 catch and 1 tackle. Prior to that, he's had a touchdown pass. He did a backflip after his touchdown pass. He had a fumble recovery. Max Hurleman is making a statement. He is the darling of the Pittsburgh Steelers training camp. I'm super excited for Max. He has, he's got a mind for football, and he is Charlie Hustle. I think I'd be surprised if the Pittsburgh Steelers don't keep him on the 53-man roster.
Hockenbrock with a throw, looking for Malakowski in a little slant end, but it looked like it was D. Fabrizio, got his hands on it and deflected that. Incomplete. That stops the clock with 31 seconds left to play in the third quarter. So, again, trying to find that little slant end to Malakowski, but the Spartans there to break it up. Been well played defensively by quite a number of different players for the Spartans in that defensive secondary. And yet another one out there right now, and Ethan Betances is out there as a corner. Hockenbrock again throwing it. Wow. Andrews with a juggling catch, and eventually the Spartans will run him down. Not much room to run there for Andrews after he tried to make the juggling catch. His slower progress gets him maybe 2 yards, and that's it.
I'll tell you, the best part of that play was Andrews pulling that in. That was a bullet from his quarterback, Hockenbrock, and you usually don't throw that on a swing pass to your running back. He caught that he stopped it one-handed, juggled it, brought it down, and just got smacked as soon as he controlled the ball. So nice job by Andrews by at least catching the ball and not turning it over.
And that will be the final play of the third quarter. What a third quarter it was for the Wyomissing Spartans. It is a 7-point lead after 1 quarter, after 2 quarters. After 3, it is now Wyomissing 42, Southern Columbia 14. We'll take a break. Back with the final quarter from Southern Columbia. High school football presented by Savage Auto Group rolls on WEEU in Reading.
This season, stick with everyone's favorite snack, Diefenbach's Kettle Chips. Legend has it, Mark Diefenbach loved kettle cooked chips so much, he turned his Berks County kitchen into the ultimate snack factory. Now, over 60 years later, we're still making that delicious PA-crafted crunch with the same passion and quality right where it all began. So crunch into some flavorful Diefenbach's Kettle Chips today and snack on a delicious tradition. Updating your furniture and appliances? The Habitat for Humanity Restore of Berks County can help. The Restore offers free pickup of your gently used furniture and appliances from your Berks County home. We offer convenient scheduling for our free pickups through our website, restoreberks.org. Located at 5370 Allentown Pike in Temple, the Restore is open from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Tuesdays through Saturdays. You might just find that special thing to tie the room together at the Restore. Support your community with your donation to the Habitat for Humanity Restore of Berks County.
Back to start quarter number 4 alongside Matt Lotto. My name is Bob McCool. High school football and WEU. We are back with another season, and we'll be with you each and every Friday night from now until they stop playing football here in Berks with the Berks County High School football teams. We'll be back next Friday night. We'll be in Muhlenberg as the Mules play host to the Reading High Red Knights. Start the fourth quarter, and back to the air goes the quarterback, Aiden Hockenbrock, but he still can't find anybody open. Looking for Blaze Kissinger, but the pass a little bit too far out of his reach, and that's going to bring up fourth down for Southern Columbia.
Yeah, I don't know if Hockenbrock had his arm hit there on that or what, but he was definitely missed his mark with Kissinger on that comeback to the sidelines.
So that brings up fourth down for Southern Columbia, and we'll see how the Tigers are going to play this. They are going to punt the football. I wasn't sure if maybe at this point in time in the game if Jim Roth maybe wanted to try to leave the quarterback out there. It looks like there's some decision right now for Southern Columbia there. Don't know that they have enough players out there. They're looking to the sideline. They were 2 players short. So now everybody's out there to try to get the snap off, and it might cost them 5 yards. Or was a timeout call?
I think they called a timeout. The play clock was running. Or no?
Nope. No, they took the penalty. So that'll be the 4th against Southern Columbia. Wyomissing's been hit for 6 penalties in this ball game, but the Tigers backed up after the 3 straight incompletions from Hockenbrock. So they will punt it, and Aguelas again is the return man for Wyomissing. They're looking at the sidelines, I guess, as to what to do. Nope, now they're going to wave the flag off. So Shado punts it. It's a high booming kick. Arguelles will field it at his own 42, going east to west, looking for a block. Nothing there. Now he's going back the other way. Now he cuts it upfield. Broke a lot of tackles to basically gain a yard on that punt return. And that's it. He'll go down at the 43-yard line.
Little shaking and baking there by Arguelles, and the Tigers just had a lot of pursuit everywhere. They surrounded him. Nice effort there by Arguelles on that punt return.
So with a 28-point lead as we start this fourth quarter, we'll no doubt start to see a few fresher jerseys. We saw some fresh jerseys for Wyomissing on the defensive side. Not as much yet on the offensive side. Hardy's still out there. Fleischhood's still out there. Chase Eisenhower out there for the 3 backs in the backfield. Toss sweep here. This is Fleischhood, who was there as the fullback on a toss sweep to him, and he gets pushed out of bounds just around the line of scrimmage. And again, a little bit of pushing and shoving after the play's over with. The officials kind of break that up. Fleischhood actually lost a yard on the play back to the 42.
Yeah, quick pitch to Fleischhood into the boundary. Not a whole lot of place to go. Great pursuit there by the Tigers front 7 to hold them at bay for a loss on the play of a yard.
So it's 2nd and 11 for the Spartans, who will now really just try to hold on to this football and ground out this clock as best they can and shorten up this fourth quarter. Fleischhood now on a wing on the right. Hardy wing on the left with Chase Eisenhower, the fullback. And the give actually is Nidrowski. Nidrowski lined up as that wing, and he hurdles a tackler. Tyler Nidrowski, 35-30, 25-20. Nidrowski will take it to the house. So much running out the clock. They run it to the end zone. Another big play. This one, 58 yards and a score.
Tyler Nidrowski out of the halfback position comes waggle or sweep to the short side of the field and, takes it all the way down inside the 5 stiff arms, gets into the end zone. I mean, just punishing run the whole way and showing some speed with his size. Nice run by Tyler Nidrowski.
And that was what we were talking about with Nidrowski lining up on occasions as a wing or a halfback. And he takes it for the score. Nick Plagenborn now will come on for the extra point Keegan Mayer, again, was shaken up with some cramping issues. So Plagenborg, who was also a kicker, is on now to attempt the extra point. And the left footer will drill it through for the extra point. Wyomissing adds on. And they will also add the mercy rule into effect now on a 35-point difference on the scoreboard. 11:20 left to go. We'll be back to Southern Columbia right after this.
Noisy, squeaky, or uneven garage doors? Do they snap, crackle, or pop? Having trouble opening or closing? Get a garage door tune-up now from Overhead Door Reading. For just $99, we'll inspect, lubricate, and adjust your garage doors so they run smoothly and quietly. Don't get stuck in the driveway this winter. Call today and ask for our tune-up special. Serving the community since 1965. Overhead Door Reading. We're more than just doors. OverheadDoorReading.com.
So we've been talking all night about the big play ability of the Wyomissing Spartans, and they have come just as spoken about. Big play after big play, and it's spread around. Marcus Armistead has done it. Justice Hardy's done it. Chase Eisenhower has done it. Brady Eisenhower with the touchdown pass. And now Tyler Nydrowski checks in as well with a 58-yard touchdown run.
I think time of possession is going to be an issue for the Spartans this year.
They're not going to win a lot of battles if they keep running for 50 and 60 yards every time. And again, with a now 35-point difference on the scoreboard, the game will shorten up now, and the mercy rule will be in effect. Not a whole lot of teams come to Southern Columbia and put a mercy rule on the Tigers, but Wyomissing is about to do it. And this is the third meeting between these two teams. They met a couple years ago here at Southern Columbia back in the 2021 season. And Wyomissing won that game and ended a long winning streak for Southern Columbia. Tell you about that in a minute. On the kickoff return is Garcia across the 15-20. 25 and 30. Garcia's in the open field and eventually run down from behind. And run down by Micah Rogers at around the 35-yard line.
Yeah, nice run by Garcia, and that was tackle made by number 4, Dominique Arguelles, senior defensive back for the Spartans.
The Southern Columbia Tigers had a 65-game regular season winning streak. It went from December of 2016 to October 1st of 2021. 65 regular season victories, the nation's longest winning streak. Wyomissing ended that here at Tiger Stadium, 41-21. And the Wyomissing Spartans, of course, won it last year at Bob Wolfram Stadium, and they're well on their way to another one here as Garcia on the run will run for a Southern Columbia first down out near midfield.
Nice run there again by Garcia to the short side of the field, and looks like we've got some new Spartans in the game on defense.
11-yard pickup for Garcia for another first down pickup for Southern Columbia.
Curran Ceruli's in the game for the Spartans. We've got number 8, Brady Folk in the game.
Here's Andrews on a sweep, trying to go out to the right side, slips a tackle. He's in the open territory and down, finally brought down inside the Spartan 35-yard line. Nice patient run there for Braden Andrews for another Southern Columbia first down.
Good run by Andrews and a nice open field tackle there by Dominique Arguelles.
Andrews tripped up at the 32. It's a 16-yard pickup for Andrews. His 13th carry of the night. And now it looks like Jim Roth may be shifting some second unit players on there offensively as well. First and 10 at the Spartan 32-yard line. Martino now is in as the quarterback. He was the starter at the beginning of last year. Now as an outside linebacker, Hockenbrock took over. As Southern Columbia keeps on the ground, gains 2 to about the 30-yard line, makes it second down and 8.
Yeah, Anthony Martino's got good size. He's a senior. He's 6'2", 175 pounds, playing both quarterback and linebacker for the Tigers.
Second down and 8 for Southern Columbia at the Wyomissing 30-yard line. Landon Raring is in there as a split end. He brings the play in for Martino. Chase Williams is in there as a tight end. Hopper goes in motion. The give is to the fullback. That's Parker Pisarcik who gets the call. Sarchik inside the 25 and down to about the 24-yard line. Gain of 6 makes it 3rd and 2. Inside of 9 minutes left to go in the game. Again, I invite you to stick around for our Pizza Como postgame show. We'll have a conversation with winning coach Bob Wolfram. We'll have our play of the game and our player of the game as well. Our player of the game brought to you by the Reading Fighting Phils. Our play of the game brought to you by Celebration Villa of Exeter, all coming up on our postgame show. Give this time is to Gavin Brown. Gavin Brown made his presence known on a nice special teams play earlier in the game. He picks up a couple here, and it looks like it's going to be enough for a Southern Columbia first down.
Yeah, Gavin Brown, he's a junior. He's 5'7", 160 pounds. He made that nice shoestring tackle on Justice Hardy on the play before he...
Yeah, that was the good news. The bad news, the next play went 91 yards for Justice Hardy and a touchdown.
Yeah.
So it's a first down pickup for Southern Columbia. Tigers with 13 on the ground so far in this football game. Actually, 14 on the ground. 1st and 10 at the 21-yard line. Give up the middle for Pisarcik. He rumbles his way inside the 15 and down to about the 14. 7 more for Pisarcik on the carry.
I love seeing these second teamers getting some playing time. You know, it's 7 minutes left in the game, and this is quality reps. You know, they're going to be able to watch the film, see how they performed, and how they can get better for next week.
Good guys, a chance to get a game under the lights. Southern Columbia with a game on the road next week against Loyalsock. 2nd down and 3 for the Tigers from the Wyomissing 14-yard line. Give is to Brown. Brown fights his way after initial contact at around the 10. Down inside the 10 to about the 7-yard line. It'll be another Southern Columbia first down. Phillies have taken the lead now on the Washington Nationals in the bottom of the 8th, a 4-3 Phils lead. First down and goal to go for Southern Columbia. Eagles and the Jets, 3-0 in the final preseason game for the Eagles and the Jets. First and goal at the 7 for Southern Columbia here, with 6.5 minutes left to go in the 4th. Martino will hand it off, and nothing doing that time. Wymissing's defensive front says, I don't think so.
Nice tackle. Nice stop there by number 55, Alberto Martinez for the Spartans, getting a tackle for loss in the backfield.
2nd down and goal to go now for Southern Columbia. Ball spotted around the 7 or so. Martino will hand it off. This time it's Hopper trying to work his way through. Hopper scored the touchdown for Southern Columbia at the end of the first half. Fights his way inside the 5 down to about the 3. It'll be 3rd down and goal to go.
Yes, the Tigers had some momentum going in at halftime. Hopper ended up hopping over the pile into the end zone with 6 seconds or 3 seconds remaining on the clock.
Yeah, and then they had the ball to start the 3rd quarter, and they had it in Wyomissing territory very quickly. But that's when the fortunes changed on the interception by Marcus Armistead. And the Spartans just kept piling it on from that point forward.
Marcus is on his 3rd turnover of the night.
Here's the give to Brown, and Brown will lower his shoulder. He'll take it in for the touchdown. So Southern Columbia puts together a touchdown drive here. Started from their own 32-yard line, and Gavin Brown will take it in for the score.
Nice job by Gavin Brown. He ran over a Spartan into the end zone there, I think, on the tail end of that. That was 31, Ethan Nye, trying to bring him down, but a little bit too late as he piled into the end zone.
So the touchdown run from 3 yards out for Brown. And again, some indecision from Southern Columbia as to who's supposed to be out there for the kicking. This is the problem now when you start getting second-unit guys out there. Or is it the second-unit kicking team? Is it still the first-unit kicking team? It's some indecision as Preston Shadle now will come on for the extra point. And some trouble getting the snap down, and the holder, Landon Rary, just picked it up, thought about running with it, nowhere to go, and he goes down. So it will not be the extra point conversion for Southern Columbia. It'll be a 6-point score, and it's a 49-20 game as a result in favor of the Spartans. Again, it does not matter once the mercy rule is in effect. it will not go off the clock. The mercy rule will continue to run, with the exception of a timeout for a score, as we just had right now, or a timeout called on the field. So 5:06 left to go. Wyomissing will continue its season again. Back-to-back home games for the Spartans and a couple of non-leaguers. First against the Haverford School next week, and then the Academy of New Church. And in week 4, when the Lancaster 11 League teams begin LL Section 4 play for Wyomissing, they will take on Northern Lebanon. Of course, October the 11th, we hope to have that game for you here on a home game at Bob Wolfram's Field at Wyomissing against Twin Valley. And then, of course, the season finale, the week 10 game, which has become an epic battle of late. That's Wyomissing and Lampeter-Strasburg this year on the final Friday night. That is October the 24th. A great battle between those two teams. We had it for you last year on week 10 at Bob Wolfram Field. Lampeter-Strasburg got the best of the Spartans that night, but a very different game in the district championship. But ultimately, LS was able to win it in overtime, 30-27. Kickoff down the sidelines. Flags go down behind and away from the play, and a big tackle on the kickoff return at around the 20-yard line. We see the flag again was thrown on the other side of the field.
I don't know why, because I think they thought there were 10 players on the field or more. Wyomissing ended up with 10 players on the field. They ran one off.
Yeah,
that
so
was the 11th player.
Right.
So they probably thought they had 12 on the field when they really didn't.
So it's illegal participation is the call. Levi Rohrer was the return man for the Spartans, and now another Wyomissing Spartan is shaken up on the play. So Wyomissing will have the football for another possession here. We'll see what the injury is all about for Wyomissing, and we'll figure out who that is once they're able to get up and get a number for you. Update on the Phillies. First, they were able to tie the game, as we said, and then go ahead on a home run from JT Real Muto in the bottom of the 7th. They went to the bottom of the 9th, and Washington scores against Juan Duran. Wow. New reliever and closer for the Fight Phils blows his first, for the Philadelphia Phillies, blows his first save. So the game right now is tied 4-4 in the 9th.
Marcus Armistead limping off the field. That's not a good sign.
No, it is not. Obviously, he has had a great night tonight for the Spartans with a couple interceptions, come up with a couple of big plays for Wyomissing, and right now not putting any pressure on that right leg. So hopefully the Spartans will be able to get Marcus Armistead back there. That's the problem you run into, and that's why coaches want to get some players off the field in these games, because you never know what can happen, especially on special teams. And Armistead was not involved with the ball in his hands. And so Wyomissing will hopefully get him back in short order, because they'll need him for the rest of the season, as what the Spartans have the football now. Starting from their own 16-yard line. And now the officials will blow the whistle, and Wyomissing is going to get nailed for a procedure penalty before they snap the football. So now they'll get backed up to their 11-yard line.
We got Teddy White now in at quarterback for a while.
White, who was the starter a year ago, now starting as the free safety for Wyomissing, as Brady Eisenhower manning that position this first game of the year. Here's a handoff to Arguelles in there at the halfback spot. We've seen Arguelles as a punt return man and replacement for Hardy. Now in there as his replacement as the halfback, and he picks up maybe a yard on the play. Like Arguelles is at one halfback, trying to see who else is back there for the Spartans, who are taking their time in the huddle, letting the clock wind down on every play.
Yeah, play clock down to 5 right now.
Give is to the fullback. And in there now at fullback is Ethan Nye. Sophomore gets the call. Gets about 4 to the 15-yard line. So Wyomissing Spartans now will win their third straight against Southern Columbia. And again, the reason why there was only one game played before is that the COVID shortened up season prevented Wyomissing and Southern Columbia from playing the first of the original two. And then Wyomissing won the game in 2021. Southern Columbia came to Wyomissing last year, and it looks like that series will continue. And the Tigers and Spartans will start the season next year at Bob Wolfram Field as well. Arguelles on the carry for Wyomissing, and he runs it out across the 20 to about the 21 or 22-yard line. That'll bring up fourth down for Wyomissing. As we hit the 3-minute mark by the time the Spartans are able to come around to snap this football. At this point in time, I don't see punter on the field for Wyomissing. Okay, Keegan Mayer is their punter.
I think they're just going to run a play here on 4th and 4 and turnover on downs if they don't get the first down here with inside 3 minutes in the game.
Here's the reverse from Arguelles back to Betances, and Betances gets wrapped up. They will not get the first down. So Southern Columbia will take possession now with a little over 2 minutes left to go in the football game. And the Tigers will get it 1st and 10 in Wyomissing territory at about the 24-yard line. Again, remind you to stick around for our Pizza Como postgame show. Words with Bob Wolfram and his win tonight at number 373 now in his Hall of Fame career. We'll have a conversation with our players of the player of the game as well. All coming up on our Pizza Como postgame show. Southern Columbia back to work on offense. 1st and 10 at the 24-yard line for the Tigers. Give is to Hopper to the 20, 15, and drags the tackler with him down to about the 10-yard line. It'll be first down, goal to go for Southern Columbia. So Caden Hopper, the senior, getting a chance to get a few extra carries in this fourth quarter. Now he'll come to the sidelines. And he got his work in for the night. It's like it'll be Brown and Pisarcik in the backfield.
Cale Williams now in a freshman at quarterback.
Freshman quarterback will hand it off to Pisarcik, who tries to pick his way to about the 6-yard line.
Nice tackle there by Wyomissing's number 51, Malachi Bosch.
At the 6-yard line of the Spartans, where it's second down and goal to go for Southern Columbia. As Matt said, freshman quarterback in there for Southern Columbia. Cale Williams. Now whistle before the snap. Not sure that issue was. It looked like an equipment issue. They're sending Keegan Deal to the sidelines. I'm not sure if he did not have something about whatever he had. They sent him to the sidelines. So it's second down. They'll hand it off for Brown. Brown tried to get outside. Nothing there. Tried to go back against the grain and runs into the teeth of the Spartan defense. They'll wrap him up at about the 2. That'll make it third down and goal to go. And what will probably be the final play of the football game for Southern Columbia and the Spartans, but a good one for Wyomissing and a very impressive third quarter for Wyomissing. Again, they had a 14-7 lead when the third quarter started, but by the time the third quarter was over, it was a 42-14 Wyomissing lead, and the Spartans able to reverse their fortunes with their big playability. We'll talk about all of that and go through all the plays as well in our postgame show. Handoff up the middle and a touchdown run, but there are flags on the play. Southern Columbia is in the end zone, pending what the flags are all about. So it looks like either the flags were picked up or the flag was against Wyomissing, so they'll decline the penalty. They'll take the score instead. Southern Columbia will get a little bit more window dressing on this one with another score here in the final seconds of this football game. And on comes Shadle to attempt another extra point. and he drills it through. So that makes it a 49-27 game in favor of Wyomissing.
Still a great confidence booster for a Cale Williams freshman quarterback, right? 6'2", 160-pound quarterback, defensive back, takes his team down for a touchdown. I mean, stuff to build upon for future games.
So 27.6 seconds left to go. No doubt Wyomissing will take one more snap and take a knee here and let the clock run down after Southern Columbia kicks it off. So barring any kind of a penalty in any way, we'll have one more snap. That'll take our opening night of football games down to zeros on the scoreboard, but we are far from through because not only will have a post-game show brought to you by Pizza Como Temple here at the field at Southern Columbia, but we'll throw things back after our game is complete and our coverage is complete. Back to the WEEU studios, Jeff Nolan, Matt Knob, and the scoreboard show will come your way. Back at the WEEU studios, they'll fill you in on all the games going on around Berks County on opening night and District 3 and around the state of Pennsylvania as well. So complete up until 11:30 tonight. Coming up on our scoreboard show after our game is complete, after our coverage is complete here at Southern Columbia. So here's the kickoff and the return for Wyomissing. On the return for the Spartans is Curran Cerulli, the sophomore on the carry. Gets wrapped up at about the 25-yard line. And we'll see if the Spartans even have to take a snap here with the running clock in effect. Actually, they do stop the clock until the ball is spotted. And again, Wyomissing will have to take a knee, and they will take the W and move on after a good start again to the 2025 season. Ball is spotted at the 25-yard line. Junior quarterback Teddy White. Presuming once they break the huddle, it's White still there at the quarterback spot to take the snap. They don't even have to bother to take the snap before that happens. The clock hits zeros. And so the Wyomissing Spartans are your winner tonight as they take care of business. The final score, Wyomissing 49, Southern Columbia 27. We'll take a timeout when we come back with more here from Southern Columbia with our Pizza Como Temple postgame show right after this on 8:30 a.m. WEEU in Reading.
UECU is a credit union that understands Pennsylvania, what it means to grow up here, raise a family, start a business. And we're committed to being your financial partner for life. With competitive rates, exclusive member discounts, and modern technology, UECU offers personalized banking that will make you feel right at home. Visit bankingforpa.org and sign up for UECU membership through our partner association, the Pennsylvania Consumer Council. UECU, banking that understands home.
Looking for the best pizza in Berks? Come to Nino's Pizza and Italian Restaurant, located along Richmond Street in Reading. Whether grabbing a pie to share before the game, getting delivery for the team, or you're looking for a real Italian dining experience in a grotto-style restaurant, put Nino's on the top of your roster. As the official pizza of WEEU's Slice of Sports, Nino's knows how to feed athletes and the rest of your crew. Nino's Pizza and Italian Restaurants, 515 Ridge Street. Call 610-921-2300 or visit ninosristorante.com.
Savage 61 Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is once again the #1 rated auto dealership in Pennsylvania. Thinking it's time to trade up for something newer? We offer the most insane trade-in values you'll find anywhere. Whether you're looking for a new or certified pre-owned vehicle, our dedicated team will make sure you drive away happy. Visit us today at savage61.com and see why we're Pennsylvania's top choice.
Looking for a game-winning play for your next tailgate or get-together? Score big this season with trays from Chick-fil-A. Delicious chicken nuggets and chicken strips, fruits and garden salads, chocolate chunk cookies, and their delicious mac and cheese. Make a play with Chick-fil-A and you'll be a winner every time. Visit Chick-fil-A at Broadcasting Square, 5th Street Highway, and Exeter Commons. Chick-fil-A voted America's favorite fast food restaurant.
If you are buying or selling a home, contact RE/MAX real estate agent Phil Macaronis. With over 20 years of experience and a member of the RE/MAX Hall of Fame, Phil does it all. from residential to commercial real estate sales. And with his large catalog of repeat and referral customers, you know you can depend on Phil Macaronis, no matter where you're looking for your next home. Call 610-670-2770 or call Phil directly anytime at 610-858-4555.
Welcome to the Pizza Como postgame show. Pizza Como is a family-owned business going strong on the Fifth Street Highway for over 50 years, serving the finest Italian dishes, Berks County's best variety of Italian sandwiches, and legendary pizza. Right next door is The Yard, a virtual golf experience to keep your game sharp all year round. And if you love sports cards and memorabilia, stop in to buy, sell, or trade Pizza Como and The Yard, 4600 Fifth Street Highway in Temple. An impressive performance tonight for the Wyomissing Spartans and their big playability. And again, the game certainly changed in the favor of the Spartans in the third quarter when they were able to put some of those big plays into effect and reverse this football game to their favor, as Wyomissing put 3 scores in the end zone in that third quarter. And by the time it was all said and done, it was a 42-14 advantage for Wyomissing. I shortchanged them. They put 4 scores on the board in that fourth quarter, and they ultimately were able to put the mercy rule in effect with that final score at 49-14. And Southern Columbia put a little bit extra on the scoreboard at the end in the fourth quarter when Wyomissing was basically just trying to run out the clock. And so ultimately it turns out to be another convincing victory for Wyomissing over Southern Columbia. So again, these two teams have met 3 times now overall in the course of the last couple years. And the reality is Wyomissing has won all 3 of them pretty handily. They broke up that long winning streak for Southern Columbia in 2021 with a 41-21 victory here at Southern Columbia. And then Southern Columbia went on to win the state title in 2021 at 2A. Wyomissing comes back last year with the victory over the Tigers as well. And so Wyomissing with a victory again here. And they have now got a 3-game winning streak against Southern Columbia. I know talking with Athletic Director of Wyomissing, Frank Ferrandino, about this series, Wyomissing certainly was hoping that Southern Columbia would continue the series. They were waiting to see if the Tigers would. But in a conversation about it with Bob Wolfram and Jim Roth before the game, Jim Roth indicated, yep, the series will continue. So that means Wyomissing will host Southern Columbia on the opening weekend of the season next year at Bob Wolfram Field. Matt Lytle down on the field waiting for the opportunity to talk to the head coach for the Spartans. So while he's waiting for that, we'll tell you who tonight's player of the game is, brought to you by the Reading Fighting Phils and their all-new Redner's Event Center at First Energy Stadium. Our Phils remind you to have your next sports team banquet in the R. Phil's all-new Redner's Event Center banquet and meeting facility at First Energy Stadium. Whether it's a sports banquet, a wedding, a corporate meeting, or event, or any charity fundraiser, the number one place for events in Berks County for groups of 40 to 1,000 is the all-new Redner's Event Center at the R. Phil's. Go to rphils.com/events for more information. Justice Hardy with a couple of touchdowns tonight. We'll tell you a little bit more about his numbers as we go on. 3 touchdowns in total for Justice Hardy. 9 carries, 196 yards, 3 scores. And his head coach, Bob Wolfram, has caught up with Matt Lytle. Matt, take it away.
Thanks, Bob. Coach Wolfram, Matt Lytle, WEEU. Congratulations. Big win tonight, number 373 against a stout Southern Columbia team and coached by Jim Roth. Can you talk about, new platoon, new team this year? Obviously you've got some really good returning starters, but how do you think the execution was from some of the young new platoon that has come in here to the program?
We're getting it done. We have a lot of skilled people. So all we got to do is break them free, and then they can go the rest of the way themselves. And that's what you saw tonight. There was a lot of times, especially in the first half, where we had trouble getting back to the line in the first half. But we broke the line enough times, and they went the distance that we put some points on the board, and, we weren't down getting our butts kicked.
You talked about big plays before the game when we were talking to you in pregame, and third quarter, you were up 42-14. You had a 42-14 lead in the third quarter, and that was big play after big play. Like, time of possession should be in favor of a wing T team like Wyomissing and the Spartans. How ground and pound, slobber knocker football. But this team here, I'll just rattle it off. I mean, you had Justice Hardy had a 62-yard touchdown run. Hardy had a 91-yard touchdown run. You had Brady to DiFabrizio on a 25-yard touchdown pass. You had a 58-yard touchdown run by Tyler Nadrowski. Chase Eisenhower had a 59-yard run. All in all, I mean, and Fleischhood had a big run for the early touchdown. Hardy with another 10-yard touchdown. I mean, Coach, you're striking from a distance in a lot of these plays, so time of possession is going to be tough for you this year. Thoughts?
Well, we don't mind doing that because it means we put 6 points on the board. And we always say on defense, if you make them run a lot of plays, eventually they're going to make a mistake. We don't mind doing that on offense, but I'll sure take long distance TDs.
Yeah, I mean, great execution by your players tonight. I mean, your skill guys did a great job, and to your point earlier today, you've got 3 solid fullbacks, and I think all of them had big plays. Even Westwood coming up big, running the ball a couple times for you tonight. So my hat's off to you guys, and big game next week. What are your thoughts?
Well, it's that Haverford school is, they get guys coming in there just to play football. And I saw they were ranked number 22 in Pennsylvania for all size schools. So we have our work cut out for us. I thought we had our work cut out for us tonight. And, I had no idea how it was going to go here. And our kids, I'm jumping around here, but at halftime, I thought our goose was cooked. We were dead. They pounded us down the field in the last minute of the first half, and they really our kids looked like they were dead at the end. And Marcus made that play, that interception, turned the game around, and then all of a sudden we were scoring every second play for a while.
Yeah, it's a great point. You make a really good point because Bob and I were talking up in the booth that they came out ready to play. They were already lined up, ready to go, and the Spartans were coming out a little lackadaisical. And even one of the plays they didn't even line up in time, get lined up on defense, and all of a sudden Marcus comes up with a pick six, takes it the distance, and that was the electric play you needed. And then then it ended up being 42-14 before you know it. So a lot of big plays. It's nice to have those playmakers on your side of the field this year, right?
It sure is, and it's nice on a given night that they all, get a big play, because one of our big problems is the amount of backs we have. Some nights somebody only gets 1 or 2 carries. So tonight was nice.
Yeah, mixing it around, everybody gets a touch, so everybody made big plays, and I think defensively the guys did a nice job holding Southern Columbia at bay. But my hat goes off, and another great win, and you're up against the winningest coach in Pennsylvania, and 373rd win is outstanding. So congratulations, and wish you best of luck next week.
All right, thanks very much, Matt Lytle, talking with winning coach Bob Wolfram. Matt will corral a couple of players there, and Marcus Armistead and
Justice
Hardy as well. Our player of the game, Justice Hardy, as I mentioned, our Reading Fight Phil's player of the game. Justice with 8 carries, 196 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Marcus Armistead with a couple of big interceptions as well. If Matt got the 2 of them, and they're a little hesitant to come over and imposing Matt Lytle. Go ahead, Matt. Talk to both of them.
Got it, Bob. Here with me, I got Marcus Armistead and Justice Hardy, both I would call it players of the game. Guys, congratulations. Both of you made big plays tonight. So talk to me. What did it sound like in the locker room at halftime? Because you guys went into halftime, it was a slobber knocker game. You guys had turnovers early in the first half, and they ended up putting a touchdown on the board, and it was a 1-score game. So what was the conversation like at halftime?
Yeah, Coach Wolfram told us, he said that second quarter they wanted it more. We were all gassed. We didn't want it in the second quarter. So we scored 0-0 at halftime, so we had something to prove. We came out, and we executed the way we were supposed to.
Marcus, one of the plays that stood out to me by you is that pick six, right? 51-yard pick six. Now, you had 3 turnovers. You had fumble recovery and 2 interceptions tonight, correct? 51-yard pick six. That's kind of like what triggered everything here in this third quarter. Third quarter, you guys it was 42-14 before you knew it, because Justice then has, after your pick six. Tell me about that play first off.
Just the other 10 on our field, they executed their job, so I just had to execute mine, and I was able to make a play.
Quarterback threw it a little bit behind the receiver, and it was like you saw it coming and jumped right in front, and nobody was catching you. And I know Justice was trying to keep up with you, but he wasn't able to, was he?
Not at all, no.
So after your pick six, then you had Justice Hardy with 62-yard touchdown. Then you had a 91-yard touchdown. So tell me, we were up in the box. You were back on punt return, and one of their backup players, I'll call it, tackled you by shoestrings. And I said up in the box, I said, all right, that just pissed Justice Hardy off. Was that the case? Is that what happened on that 91-yard touchdown run?
Yeah, I didn't know if I was gonna let it bounce in the end zone or not on the punt, but when they tackled me, they were talking a little, and the line executed perfectly. I went untouched. Great hole in the middle. That was the first time we ran that play in a game in probably like 3 years, and they executed it perfectly. I went untouched. Great blocking through the whole team.
It was an A block. It was an A block dive to you, and there was nobody to touch you. It was like a sprint. It reminded me of you running on the track field.
Yeah, it was just Brady came, handed it off, and there's just a wide open hole. There's a great crack block on the middle backer, and it's just a straight run from there, like in track and field.
So Justice and Marcus, tell me what the difference is between yourselves last year and yourselves this year. Right, because both of you made electric plays tonight, and it seems like you were faster on the field. I think the video, matter of fact, and the film had trouble keeping up with you on that 91-yard touchdown run because it was like a blur as you went down the field. So what's different between last year and this year?
A lot of off-season training with a bunch of great people. Our entire team, a bunch of our guys go to Athletes IQ and Athletes Edge to train, but also our Period 1 strength class, everyone's working. Coach Reno said it's the best Period 1 strength class he's had in the last 7 years because everyone wanted it after we lost last year. That entire offseason, the entire team wanted it real bad, and they worked for it.
So it wasn't just something you did. A bunch of the other players did. How about you, Marcus?
I think we just became closer as a family. And, when everyone's so tight, you just want to play better. And I think that's what we were able to do today.
So there's a lot of team camaraderie and team accountability, which is great. So you got some good leaders on that team with Justice, yourself, Chase Eisenhower, Tyler Nadrowski. So you guys got a good group of seniors and juniors. So congratulations on the win tonight. It was a big win. Southern Columbia, with Jim Roth, he's got over 500 wins as a coach, and this is great. This is going to end up being a big rivalry. You got two powerhouses in the state going at it, and you guys definitely put it on them tonight. And now you got Haverford next week, so that'll be another tough game, another tough challenge. And in order to be the best, you got to beat the best. So good luck next week, and hopefully we'll see some more electric plays out of you guys. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Great job, Matt Lytle. Great job by Marcus Armistead and Justice Hardy. So again, Justice Hardy is our Reading Fighting Phil's player of the game. Now time for tonight's play of the game, brought to you by Celebration Villa of Exeter, where home grows with you, offering one-level living, beautiful outdoor spaces, and multiple levels of care to age in place. Their compassionate staff and daily activities spark joy and create a close-knit community where every resident is cared for like family. Come see Celebration Villa of Exeter for yourself on Grandparents' Day at their Wild West Carnival on September the 7th. And our play of the game going back to the Wyomissing Spartans again, 14-7 at halftime. Southern Columbia comes out with the football, starts to put a little bit of a drive together, pushes the Spartans backwards a little bit, but Marcus Armistead steps in front of a little swing-out pass, and Marcus Armistead had nothing but green in front of him. He goes 51 yards for the pick six and the touchdown, and that quickly Wyomissing had changed the fortunes back, made it a 21-7 game, and Wyomissing never looked back. Although Southern Columbia was able to get a little bit back on a touchdown run from Grady Garcia, Justice Hardy then took the game over with a 62-yard and then a 91-yard touchdown run. And the Spartans, with a 28-7 advantage in the third quarter, went on to win it by a final score of 49-27. We're going to take one more timeout. We come back. We'll run down all the scoring for tonight's game and then set you up for the scoreboard show when our Pizza Como of Temple postgame show continues after this on WEEU in Reading.
Shop, earn, and save with the Renders Rewards Program. Purchase select items at Renders Markets and unlock big savings on groceries with fantastic deals like buy 3, get the 4th free. Redeem your points and save on fuel at one of our 7 Renders Quick Stop locations throughout Berks County, and treat yourself to made-to-order sandwiches, fried chicken, coffee, and more. Discover tons of special offers, digital deals, and surprise savings available to rewards customers. Start saving today. Simply sign up at the store or online at rendersmarkets.com.
This season, stick with everyone's favorite snack, Diefenbach's Kettle Chips. Legend has it Mark Diefenbach loved kettle cooked chips so much he turned his Berks County kitchen into the ultimate snack factory. Now, over 60 years later, we're still making that delicious PA crafted crunch with the same passion and quality right where it all began. So crunch into some flavorful Diefenbach's Kettle Chips today and snack on a delicious tradition.
Welcome back. It's time for us to recap all the scoring, and there was a lot of it tonight, so we'll go right through it. Wyomissing got the football first, unable to pick up a first down. They punted. Southern Columbia got it back, and Justice Hardy stepped in and picked up a pass for the Spartans. Wyomissing got it right back. They had it 1st and 10 at their own 43-yard line, and they handed it off to Daniel Fleischhood. Fleischhood, the man in motion. He's going to get his first carry on a sweep to the left side. Daniel Fleischhood to the 35, 30. Foot race at the 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Spartans. Daniel Fleischhood on a sweep left side takes it to the house, 57-yard. So Fleischhood and the Spartans had a lead of 7-0. And Southern Columbia came back with the football, but this time it was Marcus Armistead who comes up with a pick, and Wyomissing gets a break, 3rd and 14 at the 19-yard line. And a roughing the passer penalty against Southern Columbia kept the drive alive. It made it 1st and goal at the 8-yard line, and now it was Justice Hardy's turn. Give is to Hardy on the misdirection. Hardy leaps a tackle. Does he get in the end zone? Touchdown. Justice Hardy from 8 yards out. So with that score, it made it a 14-0 game. And then Southern Columbia got the football at the tail end of the second quarter. 2:53 left to go, and the Tigers put together a very solid drive. They had a big pass completion from Aiden Hockenbrock to Jace Malakowski that took them down all the way down inside the 10 at the 1st and goal at the 7-yard line. And they had to play hurry up because they were out of timeouts, and they quickly handed it off from the 1-yard line to Caden Hopper. Again, they'll give it to Hopper. Did he get in? Touchdown, Southern Columbia. They were in the ultimate level of hurry up. They had no timeouts. They had to get lined up and get the snap off, and they get it in the end zone. Touchdown, Southern Columbia. Caden Hopper for the score. So that made it a 14-7 game at halftime, and as we were talking about and Matt was talking about with Marcus Armistead and the Spartans, Southern Columbia had a little bit of bounce to their step to start the third quarter, and they pushed back a little bit on Wyomissing to start the third quarter because they had it in the beginning of that third quarter. But on 1st and 10 from the Wyomissing 49-yard line, little out pattern thrown from Hockenbrock, and Marcus Armistead had a different idea. Hockenbrock wants to throw a little out route. It's picked off. Armistead has it. Armistead with nothing but daylight in front of him, and no one's going to catch him. Marcus Armistead with the pick off and turns it into 6. At our Celebration Villa of Exeter play of the game, the Marcus Armistead touchdown, and the Spartans were rolling at that point. Although Southern Columbia did come back and put together a big play of their own, and it set them up for a 1st and goal at the 5, and Grady Garcia got the call. Garcia trying to get outside. Steve Harmon will get him outside, and Grady Garcia will take it in. Got away from Hardy and took it to the house for 5 yards. Well, that was a big difference, it looked like, for Southern Columbia, because it's a 21-14 game at that point in time. But then is when quick strike happened after quick strike happened. Spartans get the ball back there, 2nd and 9 at the 25-yard line, and the give was to Justice Hardy. The Eisenhower brothers have had all 3 of the components of that backfield. Chase has been the fullback. Brady is the quarterback. And big brother Drew was a halfback. Here's Hardy. Hardy has a seam. Hardy's gone. Justice Hardy will take it to the house. Another big play for Wyomissing. This will be 62 yards, and Justice Hardy is in the end zone. So that made it a 28-14 game in favor of the Spartans. There was still 7 minutes and change remaining in the third quarter. Justice Hardy was not done, however. After getting tripped up on a punt return all the way back at the 9-yard line, Justice Hardy got a handoff up the middle this time. Normally it's Hardy around the end. This time Hardy went up the middle, starting at his own 9-yard line. First and 10 at the 9. Give up the middle in a big hole, and nothing but daylight out ahead. And guess what? It's Justice Hardy up the middle, 30, 20. No one's going to catch Justice Hardy from beyond. Justice Hardy with his third score of the night, and they keep getting longer. 196 yards and 3 touchdowns for Justice Hardy, and the Spartans just kept adding on. And Matt Lytle was calling for an opportunity to get Brady Eisenhower a chance to throw the football. Well, on 2nd and 9 from the 25-yard line of Southern Columbia, Bob Wolfram heard that call. He gave Brady Eisenhower a chance to throw the football. Eisenhower looking to throw a little go route into the sidelines, and it is caught for a touchdown. Di Fabrizio goes up high and makes the catch. A great throw and a great catch. With 35 seconds left to go in the third quarter, Wyomissing had opened this game up to a 42-14 game, and they were ultimately able to invoke the mercy rule with one more big play, and this time it was Tyler Nydrowski who got in on the act. Fleischut now in a wing on the right, Hardy wing on the left with Chase Eisenhower, the fullback. And the give actually is Nydrowski. Nydrowski lined up as that wing, and he hurdles a tackler. Tyler Nydrowski, 35-30, 25-20. Nydrowski will take it to the house. So much for running out the clock. They run it to the end zone. Another big play. This one, 58 yards and a score. And so the Spartans had a 49-14 lead. Southern Columbia put a couple scores in on the fourth quarter after the mercy rule was involved. But the Spartans come out away with another convincing victory over Southern Columbia, 49-27, the final score. Matt Lytle rejoining me in the booth. Matt, look, we're going to go all the way back to the pregame show. We wrap this thing up tonight. All we talked about was the big play potential for Wyomissing. Well, we saw what we were talking about. Big play potential. Nydrowski had it. Hardy had it. Eisenhower had it. Fleischut had it. And Armistead had it. I mean, and they have it. I mean, that's what they are. They have an incredible level of skill all around the football field.
Yeah, offensively, defensively, they can make plays and score. It's impressive. Quarterback, get him running on all cylinders. They're going to be tough to stop offensively. And so defensively, they've got a lot of weapons. You know, they're running backs, they're fullbacks, they're all linebackers on the other side. As long as they can keep them healthy and platoon them to where they get some rest, I think they're going to be in great shape.
That's a great point, because I think that's the telltale sign right now, because they're going to see so much time on the field when they have games that are going to take them into the fourth quarter, because those guys, and Eisenhower, Nydrowski, all those guys are playing so much. Hardy is a defensive player as well. They're going to be on the field a lot. So staying healthy and staying fresh throughout the rest of the season will be a key for the Spartans, because their pieces are definitely in place for Bob Wolfram and his crew to make a run again in 2025. So that's going to do it for our coverage. Wyomissing, again, will open up their season at home next week against the Haverford School at Bob Wolfram Field, Saturday at 1:30. Southern Columbia will be on the road against Loyalsock next week, and they will be looking for their first win Friday night at 7. That's going to do it for our coverage here. Our coverage of high school sports and high school football is not done. Tonight, we will go back down to our W studios for the scoreboard show. Again, Jeff Nolan, Matt Knob, and company will be back there running through all the scores, catch you up on everything going on around the high school football on opening night, high school football in Pennsylvania. That will do it for our coverage. Thanks to Steve Pisarcik, the athletic director here at Southern Columbia High School, for his hospitality. Sean Tansky running the board back at the WEEU studios. For my broadcast partner, Matt Lytle, my name is Bob McCool. Thanks for listening, everyone. The Wyomissing Spartans beat Southern Columbia tonight by a final score of 49-27. We'll talk to you again next Friday night with more high school football presented by Savage Auto Group, live on 8:30 a.m. WEEU in Reading, and on YouTube as well on our YouTube page at 8:30 WEEU Sports.
This has been High School Football, presented by Savage Auto Group on 830 WEEU.
High School Sports on WEEU is brought to you in part by Chick-fil-A, Celebration Villa of Exeter, Diefenbach Snacks, the Coley Insurance Group, Keith Heating and Air Conditioning, Habitat for Humanity Restore, Overhead Door Company, Render's Warehouse Markets, Remax Real Estate Agent Phil Macaronis, Lincoln Plumbing and Heating, Pizza Como, Reading Fight and Phil's, Savage Auto Group, Shell's Restaurants, Mini Golf, and Dairy Swirl, UECU, United Way of Berks County, and Victor Emmanuel Beneficial Society.
WEEU is your source for comprehensive coverage and live play-by-play action from the gridiron. This is 830 WEEU, the voice of Berks and beyond. the voice of Berks and beyond. 830 WEEU ready.
The Voice 830 WEEU.
You've been listening to High School Basketball on 830 WEEU, the voice of Berks and beyond. Stay tuned for post-game coverage, bringing you all the scores and highlights of the day. And now, your hosts of the Scoreboard Show. Here's Jeff Nolan and Matt Knob.
Hey, and we welcome everybody to studios here on the second floor of 4th and Court. Week number 1 of the high school football season, as you just heard with Matt Knob, I'm Jeff Nolan. But we don't do week number 1. Well, without the man from the coal region, and we talked to our very own Travis Sparks in studio. T. Sparks, how are you?
I am thrilled to be in remodeled Deck 2. This is our first time in this studio here.
Yeah, your first time.
Yes.
Yeah, we did the basketball season here, but yeah, it's your first time back in the studios with us. As Travis Sparks will be part of the Scoreboard Show here throughout the season. Matt, you and I settle in for another year together when you got into this business and they said to you, hey, a lot of great things are going to happen. You never thought this was going to be one of them.
I never thought this was going to be one of them, Jeff. It's great to be back for a second season here on the Scoreboard Show. It's fun. It's always fun.
And it is, and I'll explain this throughout the next 10 to 15 weeks, it is actually our 25th year doing the show. We have 2 versions of the show. We have it here and we have it in Philadelphia, and we're running simultaneously. So, but yeah, this is year number 25. We'll tell you about the history throughout the year. The history tonight, Travis, says Wyomissing and Southern Columbia get together, and as good as Southern Columbia has been and will be with all the district and state championships that they have, the one thing they don't have is a win over Wyomissing.
2 years straight and a bunch of turnovers between those 2 years. We've touched on it all night here. The teams who win early on are the teams who don't turn the ball over. And wow, they must have had some French fry grease from Knoebel still on their hands, because it just 4 or 5 turnovers at least. And I want to talk to Bob about this when he calls in. The 91-yard touchdown run, where the heck was the secondary? We watched on the feed in here, and it's like the safety in the corners were all within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage, and there's nobody back there to that surprised me. But great job, Wyomissing. Great job, Wyo.
Hey, and Travis just mentioned that feed. That's archived, so you can go back and get it and watch what we're talking about. So don't forget that. Matt, we're going to talk about Justice Hardy throughout the season, and he gave us every reason tonight to talk about him.
Picked up right where he left off last year. 9 carries, 196 yards, 3 touchdowns, including a 91-yard touchdown run. Jeff, I know math is not your strong suit, but 196 yards on 9 carries is a lot.
I got to tell you, I don't even think I own a suit. But regardless, you're right. Math is not one of them. One name we have to talk about, Travis, defense wins championships. Marvis Armistad, boy, what a night he had.
Pick 6. You don't expect to hear a pick 6 in this part of the season. You're just hoping everybody holds on to the ball, and that surprised me a little bit. That defense, you take those last 2 touchdowns away, it's a 49-14 ball game. Great job all around. You can even say special teams, 7 for 7 on extra points, and good job on kickoff coverage tonight. So kudos, Wyo. Way to go.
It is a great start for the Wyomissing Spartans and a great start for us. We are going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to roll our first set of scores, and I want to let everybody know, because Travis talked about the Friars at Knoebel's, we are a greaseless show tonight, a totally greaseless show. So John Treese, this studio will be immaculate when they walk in here Monday morning. We've got scores and highlights coming up on the Scoreboard Show, and you've got us right here on the voice of Berks and Beyond, 830 WEEU.
Honey, it says here the United States is only 23rd in the world in water quality.
Is that why our ice cubes taste like gym socks?
And why our tap water smells like fish farts?
And why our toilet bowl looks like...
Can I be of service?
DHL Bowman Bowman.
At the moment of truth, when you've had it up to here with tap water you can smell from over there, one man will be by your side. fighting for truth, justice, and drinking water you can actually drink.
DHL Bowman Bowman.
Can you get the contaminants out of our water?
And get this arrow out of my cappuccino machine?
I can, ma'am. Did you know that the water quality experts at H.L. Bowman can purify your entire home water supply to give you the clean, safe, great-tasting water your family deserves?
We'll have the freshest smelling ice cubes in the neighborhood.
Oh, we all gotta get our validation from somewhere, buddy boy.
DHL Bowman Bowman.
Visit hlbowman.com.
Calling all meat-loving Americans looking for the best pizza in Berks. Located along Richmond Street in Reading. Whether grabbing a pie to share before the game, getting delivery for the team, or you're looking for a real Italian dining experience in a grotto-style restaurant, put Nino's on the top of your roster. As the official pizza of WEEU Slice of Sports, Nino's